like this crew even
They're
more.
funny.
Because they're funny. And I didn't hear this the first time watching it up here with Jubb and Donnie and Matt yesterday after the pregame show. But I went back last night to sort of scour and see what we could find. And Erin Andrews had her pregame hit. So just go ahead and play the audio of this. It sounds pretty innocuous.
Oh.
And we're
on purple. We good?
How's it going?
Are you muted?
Only the second time they're playing against each other, right, Erin Andrews?
Yeah, that is wild, Kevin. The last time they faced each other, September 2021, and Dak Prescott leading the Cowboys to a 20-point victory.
Okay, there's one drop in there that I feel like we can use moving forward because Kevin Landrum is now our ticket ticker man, and whenever he throws out something that we can't believe, we can just play this.
Yeah, that is wild, Kevin.
Whenever he's eating granola.
Yeah, that is wild, Kevin.
Whenever he's looking like he worked at Blockbuster in the past.
Yeah, that is wild, Kevin.
Definitely looks like he worked
Whenever
at
I report
Blockbuster.
on WNBA player retirement.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is wild, Kevin.
See?
Who retired?
Sue Bird retired.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Congratulations.
The most famous bird to ever play basketball.
The best bird. Not the funniest bird, but the best
Not
one.
at all.
I noticed that because it's EA, Erin Andrews, and Tom Rinaldi are the Fox A-Team sideline reporters. Dr. Tom Rinaldi. And it feels like for the past couple of years, I mean, the Cowboys play with the A-Team, it feels like in most games. And it feels like Erin Andrews is almost always on the Cowboys sideline. I think they give her the premier team of the two. But yesterday they had Dr. Tom Rinaldi on the Cowboys sideline. So I guess the Eagles have a little bit more star power going into this one because they were in first place. I just thought that felt a little weird.
Things that I noticed throughout the telecast, that the brown hoodies, because it's now November and they want to honor the troops. In years past, it's been like weird, I don't know, camo, but I think these are kind of sweet, honestly. They sort of go with whatever color scheme a team might have. I didn't mind those at all.
That khaki kind of color?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. I didn't like it much.
It's not one I would buy.
Yeah.
There's a few that they'll wear through the season, the Intercept Cancer, whatever, it's a bad slogan, but the one they had a few years ago it was black and then it had like kind of the sprinkles on it. I thought that was really cool.
It looked like carpet at a movie theater.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool.
I would buy that one. This one I'm not.
They're like Carhartt jackets or something.
I'm not buying a brown hoodie, even though I'm sure they're selling like hotcakes.
But I mean,
today.
I guess yesterday the aesthetic of it, the Eagles are green. That earth tone goes with it. The Cowboys are navy blue. That sort of goes too.
It
I
looked good
didn't
with your
hate that.
Timberland boots.
Yeah.
Exactly, yes.
Or it would look good
Loves.
on Thanksgiving. To wear some brown on Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
I think that would look pretty good.
It's now fall. We need to get more autumnal with our attire.
We do. And I noticed Jalen Hurts was wearing, those were the color of his cleats. So you see that? They were like a beige brown type color. I think he was
missed
wearing
that.
Jordans. I thought they looked pretty cool.
We
on
also
him.
had the Eagle mascot dressed up in like fatigues, which, you know,
I guess I missed that.
Mascots
Mascot
dressing
serve.
up. Mascots dressing up is not uncommon, and it's weird that we all hate the Eagles and we all hate the Astros. They got a couple of really good mascots, though. Like, what is it about the teams we hate that we have mascot envy?
Maybe it's just because our mascots suck so bad with Rowdy and Captain or whatever they call the Rangers mascot.
That's Captain, yeah.
Like, what does he do? What's his bit?
There's
he
no
just
good
walks
bits.
around and
Like I said,
looks like a horse.
There's a drop of me saying he's got a Buck Showalter haircut and no good bits.
Yeah, it's a bad mascot. I'm fine with Champ for the Mavs.
Yeah, Champ's good.
Champ's good. Mavs man,
Weird,
that's
but okay.
Too weird.
Mavs man doesn't make sense.
Kind of
because-
grandfathered in, though, over the years. Like, they rolled him out in, mid-90s, it felt like?
Yeah, but it's still a guy who underwent a horrible, horrible accident, and now his body's just made of basketball.
Like at a Spalding factory, things
Yeah.
went really sideways with a machine.
Like that poor guy.
Even as a kid in the mid '90s, seeing Mavs man, I'm like, this guy's creepy. Like, is this? There's like a dude in there, and does his butt crack? Is that a basketball also? Like, I've always wondered that.
Yeah.
And does he have
Where you put the air in?
little basketballs?
Yeah, he's got to air up every morning.
What if he does that at halftime?
I mean, he's
Just
dunking,
like he's gonna blue flame, but he just
Yeah.
starts pumping.
He's dunking at halftime and screaming himself to sleep.
You ever get Mavs man at your junior high and doing the trampoline dunk thing?
No, but he showed up at a buddy's birthday party when I was like 11.
Whoa.
This kid had money, yeah.
That's badass.
And I think his dad was like did PR for the Sidekicks, which I thought was like, Liverpool or something. But Mavs Man showed up not in outfit. Like, he just showed up as a dude.
Clint,
and you know what?
His name is.
He kind of looked like Mavs Man. Like, he kind of had like the same
Like the
jawline and
was
everything.
melting to his skin.
He kind of had the same. I'm like, that's Mavs Man. And then he put on the outfit and he dunked off a trampoline.
I knew it. So yeah, the Eagles mascot wearing fatigues made me laugh. Also, did you notice, if you go back and watch, we all obviously have pylon cam, and I think pylon cam is awesome. But one of the end zones, it wasn't on both sides, but one of the end zones had double pylon cam. It had like a camera. It's like a bigger pylon on the outside of the actual pylon to maybe get some footage of.
So you could see the pylon,
yes.
right? I noticed that.
They had 2 pylons with cams, and one was like 4 or 5 yards, outside, out of bounds, just to get a different look.
Some more technology for 2023. Yeah, it blows your mind, especially if you go back and watch games from 30 years ago or so, and just the different camera angles they have now and how everything looks just super crisp. And even watching games from like 2007 feels like it was from 40 years ago.
Like ultra low def sometimes.
We've come a long way. And that's why there's really no point to go to an NFL game anymore, because they look so good on TV.
Have you fellas picked up on I don't know if it's like a crutch phrase for Greg, but he is anytime there's good coverage, go ahead and play the clip and you'll notice it.
Dallas got the matchup they wanted. They have CeeDee Lamb. He's the inside man of the bunch. He gets matched up against Reed Blankenship. He's a safety. They will take that matchup, especially on third down, all day. Give credit there to Blankenship. Nice job staying in phase. Dak Prescott a little off target, and that's a great 3-and-out to start this game for the Philadelphia defense.
And that was in the first half. There was some good coverage in the second half, and he also threw the in phase.
Yeah, there's a lot there.
Term.
There's in phase. I've noticed that he says it a lot, or out of phase, just to sound like football guy. I'm going to start saying that all the time, because I was out of phase earlier. I fell out of my chair.
The most out of phase. And Reed Blankenship, the safety for the Eagles, he was on the field a lot and in coverage quite a bit, because Dallas, 49 dropbacks yesterday for Dak Prescott. Well, that made me think of Killer and the drop you just played of Brett Blankenship, our former engineer.
Blankenship.
Which also made me think of the great prank that was pulled on him where he had to come up with a Christmas song. And I don't know if you have that at the ready. Ham, you don't. Oh.
We can. So this was Christmas. God, I don't remember what year it was.
Felt
But
like
they were up in New York for, I think it was a Stars trip, but it also coincided with a Cowboys-Giants game.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting in the press box with Bob and Dan, and they were saying, hey, how about we do Christmas songs again this year? And I was like, great. I don't really want to, but sure, I'll do it.
Right.
And then Bob said, how about we just have Killer do one? We'll all say we'll do it, but we just have Killer do it. And they all said, yeah, that's actually a really good idea. We had no idea what Killer was going to do. I think he stayed up all night writing a song, and we had no idea it was going to be this crazy.
Well, he offered to go first, and he had an a cappella version.
Yeah.
Which made it even better.
It was dry.
I can only vamp so long, Ham.
Yeah, and I think that was like the 2:30 segment, and they're like, yeah, get with Killer, Mino and Killer, get together, make sure you got your music ready and everything.
But Killer had issue with Tony, and the song was Tony the Head Wound Engineer. Was that it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then,
maybe Killer Xmas song. Xmas. But he's like, yeah, I don't need music. Just go a cappella.
Well, every time I heard Reed Blankenship, I kept thinking of Killer.
Killer and Blake and Andrew and Dwayne, Kevin and Pete and Bill and Nick. But do you recall the most famous engineer of all? Tony, the head wound engineer, had a very severe injury. And if you ever saw him, you could even say he drools. All of the other engineers used to laugh and call him names like Blankenship. They never let poor Tony do any of the cool remotes. Then one guy's night out.
Okay, that's plenty.
It's just a masterpiece. The guy worked all night and didn't rhyme one word.
It's one of those mini clips that you go back and listen to, and you notice something new every time. Like, I love how he just kind of cracks himself up after he says Blankenship, and it's kind of nervous laughter, like, oh, that's funny. Okay, on to the next. But hey, at least he had it memorized. Like, I give him credit for memorizing his lyrics, and he didn't have to read it. Now, he did rhyme a lot of words together, that injury and injury.
They were.
He rhymed those.
Reed Blankenship.
I don't know if a single word was over 2 syllables either. I don't know if he memorized.
It's a simple
the
song.
Gettysburg Address.
Oh, man. Also, noticed yesterday during a timeout that the Napoleon movie is going to be effing awesome, and I can't wait to go see it. It's, a couple days, right? The 10th? Or something like that?
Yeah,
or is
I
it
think
over
it's
Thanksgiving? It's pretty soon.
Sometime this month. It does look cool.
We've been due a sequel.
Napoleon 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, is it Napoleon Dynamite 2?
Or is this the prequel for Napoleon Dynamite?
Yeah, it's a lot before.
I feel like they're making
Napoleon
him like
Dynamite.
a war hero, like a badass soldier on the field. That's what it looked like in the trailer, at least.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Like King Leonidas or
Joaquin
something.
Felix.
You put him in anything, I'm pretty much going to watch it. Also, Nick Sirianni, just very punchable. Like the Bash Brothers celebration he had with one of his assistants. I mean, come on, dude.
As a Cowboy fan and hating the Eagles, don't you need a coach for Philadelphia that you hate? And Sirianni is perfect for that role. Like, I can't stand him, but I'm glad the Eagles have someone like that.
He's the most hated since Buddy, for sure.
Yeah.
That's why I loved watching that last drive, because he got more and more upset looking, and I wanted to deliver the final death nail. But
did you guys giggle at this?
Zach Cunningham at linebacker came up to make the stop, 3rd down and short. And now there's an injured Eagle. That's Fletcher Cox who's down, one of their best. And we'll take a timeout. Concern for Cox. Back to Philly in a moment.
We're just concerned for Cox.
Yeah. He did get up fast.
You think they overdo it with that music, too?
yeah,
Oh, my gosh.
you don't need it every time.
Yeah, their board op, it's just on one page, and he just wants to go to it anytime someone's down.
I mean, if it's like...
I like it, though.
If it's stretcher,
I like it.
okay. If it's season
If it's
ending...
No, I think if it's too severe, if the cart's coming out, or if it's Dak and his legs pointed the other way, or DeMar Hamlin
Yeah,
dies,
they had to loop it for like 20 minutes. This song.
like,
The
I
DeMar
don't.
thing.
I think they kind of just fade out, and you don't need to use the music if it's something really bad.
Mm-hmm.
But that was, and then also speaking of Sirianni, he got caught on a hot mic saying a bad word.
Okay.
Prescott gets it out to Cooks, who makes a catch, and a penalty from back in the secondary. Someone didn't like it.
Yeah, I don't think Sirianni was overly thrilled with that call. We'll just leave it at that.
To say it lightly.
I love the acknowledgement.
Yeah,
of it.
I like
It's
that they'll say it. And it was right on the broadcast. It sounded like he said it right into a mic.
So to sum it up, little baby KK and Greg, they're growing on me. I love it.
It was classic little baby
I need
KK
more
yesterday.
A-team. I need more Fox A-team in my life.
I need them wearing the jackets. And I need Kevin Burkhardt embracing the name Lil Baby KK. They never call him that.
They should.
They need to.
It's perfect.
Freedom is the key to any good relationship. It's about being around each other because you want to be around each other, not because some contract or some inflexible data plan are holding you down. Consumer Cellular knows that a good connection with somebody isn't something you can take for granted. It's something you earn with every bill you send, every fee you don't charge, every charge you don't hide. That's why Consumer Cellular lets you walk away at any time. No feelings hurt. That's why at Consumer Cellular, you only pay for the data you need each month, whether it's 1 gig or a bajillion. So anyway, listen.
Pretty good. How are y'all?
Do anything fun this weekend?
Just a lot of sitting around and doing homework, business as usual.
No, I was actually setting you up to say you went to, I believe, as you said, quote, the greatest sporting event I've ever been to.
I got to keep it humble. Come on.
No. You can't in that regard, man. I've been up there for that game, and whether it's there or whether it's in Norman, it's incredible. And the fact that you were at the final one, for all intents and purposes, and you saw it in that way, did that amp up your fandom at all?
It was.
Because that was incredible.
Yeah, absolutely the most stunning sports event that I've been to, or I think will be to, and completely blew every expectation out of the water, and we own OU now, so.
As far as he's concerned. All right.
Yeah, he didn't know any different.
For the rest of time. All right. So walk me through this a little bit. We have to, we can't quite go in full real time, but I want to hear. So you met a P1, our new friend Dale, who sold us your single ticket to Bedlam, and so you met him, and then you went in there. What time? Give us a quick version of your experience.
So I went in at about an hour and a half before the game started. The entire student section rushed their line. I wasn't a part of that. I was in a separate line. So I had my friends save me a seat. It was on like the 30-yard line, like 4 rows in. And so I was right up close to the action. The game started. It was absolutely back and forth pretty much the whole time. Up until like the last drive of OU, it was pretty close, and people started lining up, getting ready to rush the field during that last drive. And I wasn't lining up because I wasn't accepting our win yet. I was very anxious.
Good move. Good move.
Yeah, it happened, and it still hasn't set in. We rushed the field. It was kind of like a polite rushing. Like, we didn't swarm over the side. It was kind of like one by one we would drop down. And we rushed the goalposts. And there was security trying to prevent our goal. But we went to the other goalpost, and there was a huge crowd of people. And just the cops were having the worst night of their lives. And about 12, 13 people jumped off onto the goalpost. They were, like, hanging down on it, dangling, going crazy. Eventually, after, like, 10 minutes of just people – putting constant pressure on it, it toppled. There was a huge cheer from the crowd. A couple people got concussions, I heard, some poor souls.
Because, like, the goalpost fell on them?
Yeah, it just toppled over into the crowd. And I think it's plastic. But
and you know what, Brett? Like not only did it look incredibly scary for whoever was in the path of the goalpost, the people that were on it, when that thing went down, those kids – they went down hard. I was like, oh, I hope I don't know any of those people because that looked like it hurt too.
Yeah, I hope they're okay. I'm sure they are. But
no, they're fine. They're fine.
Yeah, it was worth it. As long as Ollie Gordon's okay, that's really what we're worried about.
It's just a flesh wound.
Yeah.
So when you went down to the goalpost by the basketball arena first, right? And did you not tell me one of your buddies might have caught a little bit of mace?
Oh, yeah, or he got tased, unfortunately.
Tased, okay. Tased, mace.
He was being a rascal, and he was jumping up on the goalpost, and one of the cops got to him, and he fell the full length down to the ground. So.
Oh, man, after being tased on the goalpost.
Did he soil himself?
No, but, I'm sure he had a good time. I think he sounded like he didn't have much regret, so that's good.
So, did it ever cross your mind to try to get to the goalpost? Because I'll be honest, I didn't think that was your thing, but we're learning a little bit about what Brett's things are in college. And when I saw 12 people up on the goalpost, I did actually take inventory to see did any of them live in my house. And thankfully, none, but I was just curious if it crossed your mind.
No, after I saw my friend catch the taser, that thought kind of escaped my mind pretty quickly, yeah.
Okay, so how long do you stay on the field, and did you follow the goalposts all the way to the lake?
So, yeah, it probably toppled down like 10 minutes after we ran on the field. Once it toppled down, people just picked it up, and they were, like, parading it around the field for like 5 minutes, and once we realized we couldn't get it out that way, we lifted it up into the stands and climbed up and followed it through the tunnel and basically out the stadium that way. And people were cheering the whole time. It was basically a parade from the field to the pond.
Great. Do you know how awesome college is?
Yeah,
you get to do that.
I want to go back.
I know.
So, okay.
I'm going.
Bob should have Hank the Tanked it this weekend.
Man, I should have. So now you're out on the plaza outside the Boone Pickens Stadium, and then what's the plan with the goalposts, and what do we have, several hundred students? What's going on?
Yeah, there's hundreds of people out there, and we're just parading it down the street to the half mile to Theta Pond, and where there's a even larger crowd waiting. We're struggling to get up to the front of the pond to get a good look at it. And eventually the goalpost parade catches up. Everyone's chanting, throw it in, throw it in. They throw it in. Everyone cheers. People are jumping in. It's great. People are saying FOU, the whole works.
That's just mean.
That pond is right in front of where Scotty used to live. I know it well.
Yeah. So it's the
right
Theta Pond, like a
right across
sorority
from the
house?
fraternity houses and sorority houses, yeah.
Yeah, it's right there by old Stout Hall, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So did I read, Brett, that they had trouble finding the goalposts in that pond?
It floated down there for a minute, and I heard that they got it out after I left before then. But I heard it went through the Wendy's drive-thru at one point.
So awesome. All right, so that game ends at whatever time. The histrionics of post game end at 6:30. What was nightlife like on that campus from 7 to 2 in the morning? Wait, did you get an extra hour of bar time? Right,
back the clock.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't tell you about that. I went to my back to my apartment and I got a good night's sleep.
Come on.
Yeah, I wouldn't know about that.
Not a chance in hell, man.
Did I see some SEC chants going on your Insta?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
On the chants that day, it was good. I don't know when OU will be able to redeem themselves. So
probably never.
We own them till then, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, national championship game next year. OU is just a year away, so
that's true.
Next year.
That it could happen at any time.
I mean, what's going on? What are you doing here?
So
I don't know. I'm just kidding you.
So you were on such a high that 2 nights later you thought you'd go see Oklahoma State play Abilene Christian in basketball, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah. It did not produce the same.
Oh no, they got beat by the Wildcats.
They got beat by Abilene Christian.
Oh no way! Was Grant Boone there?
Yes, he was.
Oh no way!
Geez. Yes, he was. It was a big night, and
the team score didn't go past 60. It was pretty bad.
Oh. And I popped it on during Monday Night Football and saw Brett on the baseline giving the refs the business or something.
All right.
So you're plugged into the sports
Cowboys
scene.
super fan.
Yeah, I mean there was talk that one of the refs tripped one of our players on accident, and he called it on us. But I don't know. That could have been just the student section bias.
Okay, so back to
so ridiculous.
Back to the football game real fast. Last thing I don't think you've told us about, which is one of your buddies got an Oklahoma headset.
Not one of my buddies, but someone on the OSU story posted that when we ran on the field, someone grabbed a OU coach's headset and started wearing it.
It's great.
Chaos down there.
Put it on. Like, what are you going to call now? What are you going to call now on fourth down?
Just wear the headset around campus.
Talking to no one.
Run that fumbled snap play again. I'm sorry, Corby.
No. It's great. Well, as long as you can count to 91, that's cool by me. I don't know if you know if that's a significant number at all or not.
Man.
So
he who laughs the best, Corby. I'm sorry.
You're true. You're so true.
So Brett then thought he should text Lookabaugh, and he didn't.
No way.
He didn't have your number. It was a reasonably classy text.
Okay.
Right, Brett?
Yeah, I just said sorry about that.
Sorry about that.
What did John say? Did John even respond?
He pretended he didn't know what I was referring to, and then he's like, "Oh, that's right. Congratulations." I'll give it to him.
All right. Well, Brett, I hope you're going to class, and
it's not even important anymore.
But congratulations on the big win in the final Bedlam.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're
pleasure to be there.
You did it.
Now you're part of the. Now you're part of the tradition. You're part of the historical record.
I mean, think about that too. Like the of when he was born. If it would have been a year too early, whatever. Like he just lucked into being a part of this. That's awesome. Dude.
Hey, did you think that was pass interference on the Stoops kid?
That was an ineligible receiver. No.
That's right. He was out of bounds.
Based on years alone, he'd been there for like 9 years.
Yeah.
All right, Brett. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon.
I love you too. It's a pleasure, boys. See ya.
Bye, Brett.
There he goes.
I feel partially responsible for the fact that he's up there.
Did you talk
Scotty
him into
recruited
Yes.
him hard.
No,
yeah.
you did some great work at Ticket Stock, I think, with the two guys from Res Dogs.
Oh,
yeah.
Mike Bones. And
they talked him into it. They're going to
no,
love
no,
Stillwater, man.
No, we were all back there having a conversation.
That's right.
And, man, I have to tell you, he's my son, but he sounds just like Tyler Sagan on the phone, doesn't he?
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah. They have the same voice.
All right, see you, boys.
All right, well, there he goes. There goes Brett.
Freedom is the key to any good relationship. It's about being around each other because you want to be around each other, not because some contract or some inflexible data plan are holding you down. Consumer Cellular knows that a good connection with somebody isn't something you can take for granted. It's something you earn with every bill you send, every fee you don't charge, every charge you don't hide. That's why Consumer Cellular lets you walk away at any time, no feelings hurt. That's why at Consumer Cellular, you only pay for the data you need each month, whether it's 1 gig or a bajillion. So anyway, listener, Consumer Cellular wanted me to ask you if you're into that kind of thing, freedom, love, having a good time. If maybe you wanted to go steady. If you do, check yes or call us. We love talking on the phone. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-800.
Concert that Rhett's been doing every year, and I was involved with it for several years too. But he said, thanks to events like that, a new drug was developed about 4 years ago that has raised life expectancy of cystic fibrosis patients to 67 years of age. Now, that is a huge number compared to, I swear, not too long ago, the age was like 30-something. It was like in the 30s.
Whoa.
But P1 Mike continues. He said the drug is called Trikafta, and this life expectancy applies to patients who started early in life. For those like my 26-year-old son, it has stopped any further damage to his lungs, but doesn't reverse any damage already done. But it's kept him out of the hospital for about 4 years now and is keeping his lung function steady. When younger, there was a 3-year period that my son spent nearly 300 days inpatient. Wow. So in a medical facility, 300 days of the year. Can you imagine that as a young kid?
No. I mean, 1 or 2 days in a facility wears you out. I can't imagine almost the entire year.
Anyway, he says, thank you. And the Rhett Millers, he should be thanking Rhett Miller and those. I was just there for several years, lending my name to it and showing up and doing some MC duties. But thanks to events like this, CF gene research also benefits many other genetic conditions. He said, think CRISPR, that CRISPR technology where they're editing genes and everything. So that came from Mike Colbert, or Colbert. I'm not sure how he pronounces his name, but that's very good news about that CF drug. It is increasing life expectancy. Another story that I didn't get to last week, have you heard the rumors that went around the past few weeks about Putin being dead?
No.
Yeah, some people fell for it. I don't think many people fell for it, but Russia does this every once in a while. They put out kind of the low-key rumor that Putin died. And the reason they do it is to see the reaction of his enemies or people that they have questions about.
Okay.
If people are gleefully celebrating it there in Russia, then that person goes on a list.
Okay.
Wow. And also just to see how the world would react. It's kind of a soft launch for look at George straighten up when he hears that.
I'm sorry, that's a great song.
You think their national anthem's better than ours?
I didn't say that.
I did. Who's the off-mic horse
I don't know
guy?
who that guy is. I don't know what he's talking about.
Go ahead and play it, Tyler. Let George get his... You have the worst fake Russian.
What? Those are the words.
Why don't you just learn the words?
I tried once. They're really hard.
Really?
Yeah.
Look up the lyrics. What is that? That's not the Russian national anthem anymore, right? That was the Soviet one.
The old Soviet national anthem. What is it now? What did they change to?
I think they use Star Spangled Banner now.
Do they?
Yeah. I mean, they got new words to it.
Use a Taylor Swift song.
Yeah, Taylor's version.
Yeah.
Why did you once try to learn the words?
Because I wanted to learn the song. I think
doing some work for them on the side.
No,
maybe?
I have just no
covering the bird dog set.
No political agenda whatsoever. I just thought it's cool.
Well, look up the words and see if you can pronounce them. Those Russian words, they're so long and they just. I think the most confusing one. Have you ever tried to read Icelandic stuff?
I don't think so.
Every word in that language, I don't know what they call it, Icelandism, Icelandica. I don't know what the name of the language is. But I swear their words are all like 29 letters long. They're way long.
What's going on with my internet?
Icelandicism.
I don't need to find the words. I'm not converting.
We ought to at least look at the translation of the words.
Yes.
And see what you're paying such homage to and pledging such allegiance to. Although, don't you kind of think there's something, too, that Putin may not be fully healthy 100%?
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, anytime you get over 70, you can wonder that about anybody.
Someone told me he orders a lot of late-night pizza, too.
Okay, that's an off-air
dangerous
sketch that we do that cracks us up.
I eat the pizza.
About Putin having a nagging wife, and it's very retro. And
he's excited that Domino does deliver.
After a hard day of being the most evil man in the world, he just wants to sit down and have a little pizza, and she starts bugging him to take out the trash. And
he's murdering thousands in Ukraine.
I know that's the
and we've certainly.
But go ahead, keep up the comedy routine.
Well, he's got to eat at some point. Wouldn't it be funny if he ordered Domino's?
Hell yeah, Domino's delivers.
Vlad!
Oh,
get out there and cinch up those sacks. The raccoons have been getting in it.
Oh, please. I just sat down to watch Golden Bachelor.
Once again,
Grandpa Bachelor.
There's a reason Heil Honey I'm Home was not accepted.
And we're not saying
by
put it
the
on
world.
network
This
TV.
is your version of Heil Honey I'm Home. It's the exact same thing.
It's an off-air sketch.
It's a
so
murderous
we're fine.
dictator
It's a
that you guys are
very
making
off-air
a lovable.
Craig.
You're making a lovable comedy figure.
No, it's
it's
so
off-air.
off-air. So it doesn't count.
All right, here's some more rope. Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
What was the other one? Oh, yeah, he wanted to make a run to the border.
I'm going to make a run for the borders. What I'm going to do.
Who's in?
What's that? Who's in? You want anything? You want anything?
Oh, S.
Oh,
Did you get the garage cleaned up?
I'm working on it. I had a whole thing today with Ukraine. It's a big deal.
I want it done. The party tables are going to be here by Friday.
Oh, jeez. Can one of you guys go to the border? I want the Supreme, too. Can you make sure it has the sour cream?
No onions.
Heil Honey I'm Home.
All I wanted was a freaking gordita. Now I got to go clean out garage.
Heil Honey I'm Home had one aired episode.
Oh. Okay.
They made 8.
That's why we're not putting this on the
They
air.
made 8. It made one
That's right.
aired episode, and the reaction was so negative they yanked the other 7.
Right. That's why we're not putting this on ABC.
yes.
We're not even putting it
But
on
you
the
guys
ticket.
didn't learn a
Yes.
lesson from
No,
that.
it's not even
Didn't
ticket
learn a
stuff.
lesson.
We did. That's why we're not doing it.
Right.
This is like the 9th on-air
man.
episode you've
gonna
done.
It is
all-
not. No. This is all off-air stuff.
We're going to call Netflix. We decided not to.
I don't find genocide funny.
And neither do we. Neither do we. Oh, yeah, finally gonna sit down with my Ibanez, going to learn some Def Leppard. Let me find a good YouTube
Learn how to play guitar.
tutorial. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, man.
Who put these dishes in the sink?
Oh.
Does
I
Putin...
did, but I'll get to it. Just please, I'm trying to pour some sugar on it in here.
Yeah, we definitely have a laugh track.
Yeah,
that would help. That would soften it.
What were we talking about?
Oh, the rumor that he was dead.
Back to the Powerball drawing. Okay, let's see. Oh, let's talk about finding treasure. They're calling it the world's most worthwhile. What is it? World's most expensive treasure ship that has sunk, and they're trying to recover the treasure from it. I can't believe.
Worthwhile.
I know. What do you call it? It's called the Holy Grail of shipwrecks. Reportedly, it has $20 billion worth of treasure on it.
Damn.
Whoa.
There's no way that can be right.
He does not.
Is it all jewels and gold and what is it?
It has gold ingots.
Crypto?
What was that?
Yeah, it's full of crypto and NFTs. The Colombian government said that the ship, which is the San Jose, was sunk by the British Navy in 1708 off the port of Cartagena. And it was discovered in November of 2015. And now I guess it's heating up, and different people are claiming that they own this and wanting the booty. We all want the booty, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
The booty.
And so they're trying to say that we need to get down there and get this stuff out of there as soon as possible. Now, when it sank, there were 600 sailors aboard, and only 11 of them, all but 11 of them, died. Perished.
It sank fast.
Yeah. When it sank, it was transporting plundered gold, silver, emeralds, and other precious stones and metals from the Americas back to Spain. So is it the property of the people in America who owned it at the time, and it was stolen by these Spanish to go back? There are also some, let me see if I can find, there's some claims by Bolivia's indigenous Quara Nation. Probably not saying that right. They claim ownership over the ship because they say it was the Spanish that forced their people to mine the metals that was used in the treasure.
Yeah.
So who's going to have claim of the $20 billion worth of treasure? Of course, how are you going to exchange all that if you got old gold coins? You take it into a bank, they're going to, I'm sorry, this is not...
Sorry, we don't recognize this.
Yeah, this is not legal tender.
That's why you take it to heritage auctions.
But will they sell plundered booty?
Oh, yeah.
That's the name of my autobiography. It's very racy, too.
What was that, George? It sounded like some kid at
plundered
Guitar
booty.
Center.
It was just footage I was watching of Putin trying to learn how to
Check
play
it out.
guitar.
Yeah.
Stop it, dude.
Unbelievable.
Job. Hey, that's him. Let's hear him. Put the mic down there. Let's hear him a little bit here. He's in the guest bedroom.
Play leads.
You know, I think it's pretty good. It's pretty melodic and lyrical, you know. Just cool. Maybe mix it up with a few arpeggios. I don't know. I got ideas, but I really don't know how to put them into.
Just don't want it to sound like scale.
Yes, you know, that's the problem. I have a whole hard time breaking out of scale and getting the phrasing right.
Okay.
I
know it doesn't play well with Craig, but I'm telling you,
is so judgy.
Band members out there are just dying laughing right now.
Let's cut that back a little bit.
I mean, you know, I pretty much stay in pentatonic, but you know, I'd love to break out. Okay, I'm sorry. We're sorry.
We're
Craig.
sorry. We won't do it again.
What? Why don't you enjoy guitar humor? This is
it's not guitar
jokes.
It's not a G.I. Jane joke.
It's guitar jokes.
We're going to say another word about
You guys are making a very, very evil person lovable.
No, he's not lovable.
And I don't understand that.
He's not lovable.
Yes, you're making him lovable by having him make a run for the border and playing an Ibanez.
Hey, that's funny. What else you got?
And playing an Ibanez.
No. All
and
of that.
He is one of the more evil people in the history of the world.
We pull all of that comedy off the table. We've pulled it off the table now.
Like I said, here's some more rope. Go right
to.
ahead.
We're not going
Go
to
right
say another
ahead.
word.
Going to. Okay? Jeez.
Wow, dude.
It's a joke.
Keep
wow, dude.
Putin's name out your mouth.
Oh, my goodness. Oh. All right. That's
All right.
the end.
The end. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
When you call Consumer Cellular's customer support to discuss our affordable and flexible phone plans, it's like you're calling the Declaration of Independence or a hot dog at a baseball game. Because Consumer Cellular's customer support is based entirely in the United States. And Consumer Cellular's customer support agents are from where you're from. The same small town that you're from. The one that stretches from California to Maine, Minnesota to Corpus Christi, Texas. The one that cares about its neighbors and lights fireworks. Legal ones, in the street. So the next time you want to make a phone call that feels like an American flag waving at an air show at Magic Hour, give us a call. Even if it's for no reason at all except to exchange barbecue sauce recipes like a couple of Americans. Or make jokes about Canadians. LOL, just kidding. We love Canadians. They're our neighbors. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at...
Awkward.
Anyway, I brought some interesting items from the Texas Radio that the Texas Radio Hall of Fame may want. I don't know if they want these or not, but I will sell them to them for a reasonable price.
All right.
Look at this here. This right here, this is Norm Hitchcock's first microphone.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, it's basically a megaphone made from a prehistoric gourd. But that's how you used to have to broadcast back in the day.
Right.
$200 if anyone's interested in that.
Okay.
This is the microphone that Lee Harvey Oswald talked into when he said that a reporter asked him that question in the hall. How much is that? I may be interested in that.
Yeah, Gordon.
It's too expensive for you. Yeah, it's a historic item, so that'll be going for $500.
Wow.
It was authenticated by David Ferry. Yeah, they used to
Oh.
work together or something, didn't they? Yeah, I don't know. Why is he talking? I don't know. All right, and this one may be of interest to some ticket fans.
Okay.
This is a montage.
A what?
A what? A montage of Bob Sturm's longest interview questions. So, in over 17 hours of audio, you will hear a countdown of Bob's top 20 guest questions that he's asked in the whole time.
Okay.
That's $15. It's a digital copy. It's easy. I can get that to you.
You know, you could donate these to the
Who
museum.
here likes the Cowboys? Lots of people like the Cowboys. How about a pair of Dak Prescott's game-worn cleats, size 12, width triple E? He steps out of bounds a lot in these. That's $100. Hey! Mike McCarthy play sheet. On one side is the plays. On the other side is a build your own Rudy Tooty fresh and fruity. Who doesn't love the hop, huh? It's authenticated by Andy Reid and Chili Davis. All right. Ladies, listen up. If you are an Eagles fan and you are a V-haver, you're going to want this. It's an actual brand new, unopened signature Nick Sirianni douchebag. Yeah. Can't imagine a better face to be on the box for a douchebag. Oh, hey. $20. Thank you, George, for the assist there. Yeah. Giving the cues there. All right. How about them World Series, huh?
How about them World Series?
Yeah. Everybody got a little of the Ranger fever around here, right?
Yeah.
Big congrats to the Texas Rangers. In my opinion, winning the World Series ain't nothing to be ashamed of.
That's right.
Ain't nothing to be ashamed of. That's why I got a few items here related to the Rangers. This is Bruce Bochy's saddle that he had on the horse that he flew out to Arizona so he could ride off into the night.
We've heard
to
of
have a moment of Riverside reflection. You've heard of this story?
We've heard of this, yeah.
Oh, my God. This was authenticated by the great-grandson of Roy Rogers. $1,500.
Interesting. Okay.
The contents of Nate Lowe's recycling bin the morning after the parade, $2,000.
Whoa, that's a lot of beer cans.
A lot of aluminum.
Hey, $2,000 sounds like a lot of money, but you got to understand there's over $1,500 worth of recyclable aluminum and glass in there. So, yeah, and then how about this? Adolis Garcia's home plate home run watching lawn chair. I actually got the one.
Wow, yeah.
It's $500.
He admired that one.
$500. A flask of John Daniel's tears, $200.
Okay, I don't think he was crying.
And then look at this, a whole manual here. Look at that. That's thick. Look at that manual.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, it's the Arlington Parade Planning Services Guide to How to Throw a Parade. I'm going to let this go for 50 cents. Anybody?
Come on.
Anybody want it?
The best
We're just having fun
It's
here.
fun. It's
Congratulations to Arlington and the Rangers.
Hey! There he goes, Shorty DeFazio. It's 8:49 on the ticket.
Freedom is the key to any good relationship. It's about being around each other because you want to be around each other, not because some contract or some inflexible data plan are holding you down. Consumer Cellular knows that a good connection with somebody isn't something you can take for granted. It's something you earn with every bill you send, every fee you don't charge, every charge you don't hide. That's why Consumer Cellular lets you walk away at any time. No feelings hurt. That's why at Consumer Cellular, you only pay for the data you need each month, whether it's 1 gig or a bajillion. So anyway, listener, Consumer Cellular wanted me to ask you if you're into that kind of thing, freedom, love, having a good time. If maybe you wanted to go steady. If you do, check yes or call us. We love talking on the phone. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
How wrestling really works and how you get the ratings. Eric Bischoff and Conrad Thompson explain on 83 Weeks.
Too much time is spent discussing talent's age. The younger demo is just as excited about a Paul Heyman or a John Cena or an Undertaker or Becky Lynch, or I don't care what their birth certificate says, they're going to draw a younger demo because they're fun to watch and they're great entertainers.
83 Weeks on YouTube or
South Philly
Such
Radio
an honor,
Hall of
yeah.
Fame.
South
That's
Philly.
the one you want to be
That's
in.
the one you want to be in, not
Yeah.
the Pennsylvania Radio Hall of Fame.
No.
Not the Philadelphia Radio Hall of Fame.
No, they let anybody in.
No, and not the East Philly Radio Hall of Fame. Splitters! But the South Philly Radio Hall of Fame. Oh,
Yeah.
it was such a great. It was great to
it's
be
great
in there.
thing.
Great to be
Great
in there
thing.
with Merrill Reese and
Yeah.
John Facenda.
Yeah.
Huh?
The voice of NFL films. How's that?
All the other broadcast greats from Philadelphia. Will Smith, Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
I think Richard Gere and 4 of his gerbils in there.
They got it last year.
And hey, Tony, I thought your speech was great.
Thanks, man.
Great.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why they got so mad at you F-bombs.
I don't know.
I mean, it's not like you said it 52 times.
That's how we talk here in South Philly.
You
What's the big
said
deal?
the F word 51 times.
Was it 51?
51 times.
All right.
I went back in the teleprompter script to look it up, and it was only 51 times. I mean,
the way I
good
wrote it.
Lord.
Yeah,
I got so uptight. Don't be so uptight, okay?
Yeah, what the problem is there. And, South Philly's where it's at. You just mentioned all those people that are there. And, the Philly Radio Hall of Fame, they let that spare Angelo Cataldi in there.
He is the worst.
I mean, what did he ever do?
He is the worst.
He did the one and drive for like 40 years.
Anthony,
I swear.
shut your mic off
Shut
right
up.
now. We don't need you talking to
I don't
us
need
while we're
that,
doing radio.
And I don't think he was in radio for 40 years.
All right,
Who
let's
could
talk
be in
about the game. We got to get into the game here.
Let's go. What a joke. I love Sirianni so much.
Oh, my God.
He's the
Oh, my
greatest
God.
coach the Eagles have ever had. He may be the greatest coach in the NFL.
I mean, I thought Andy Reid was the greatest at the time. Then we got Doug Peterson.
The Peterson
Out of
wins it all.
nowhere, out of the heavens falls Doug Peterson.
Sirianni
And
got
now,
cheated out of one last year. Should have won it last year.
Sirianni.
And then, you know what? I think he trolls Dallas.
Oh, he
I think
totally trolls
them.
Dallas. Did you see at the end? I mean, it was already assured the Eagles were going to win the game.
Yeah.
But on that final drive, he's just trying to give the Cowboys the false hope.
Yeah.
He gave, he called those. It was like 3 defensive penalties.
Yeah, so,
he called
commit
them
interference.
Yeah,
let him
do
get
some
downfield.
interference.
Yeah.
Let them get a little hope, just
Yeah.
where we can crush their little hearts. I loved it.
Hit that.
I loved it.
Hit
Trolling
that.
the Cowboys.
Take the ball at the 6-yard line, and we'll give you 3 or 4 plays to win the game. And then go backwards.
Yeah, Dak, as usual, he was shooting for the wrong goal line. I tell you, I love Nick Sirianni. He's one of us.
Yeah.
Because he's intolerable as a human being, but he loves the Eagles.
But he loves the Eagles, so it's
So
good.
I love this guy.
You may not like some bun, but they like the Eagles. They're fine. What about
It's always so great. Anytime the Eagles just crush the Cowboys.
Oh, my God.
Crush them.
Crush them.
I love it. I love it. You know what? We should take a few phone calls on this.
All right.
You want to take a few
Philly's-
calls?
Yeah, Philly's
Let's take a
fired
few
up about
kuwas.
this whole thing.
All
yeah.
right. Let's go to, let's see, Sal in South Philly. You're on with the Touchdown Brothers.
Hey, how are you two guys doing?
Not bad. Hall of Fame. No, not bad. Sounds pretty good.
Congrats to you two guys. I was actually theirs on Saturdays when you were inducted into the Halls of Fames. I was in the back of the room. I think you heard me crying.
Yeah,
we did hear that sound. That was very touching.
Very
So
touching.
pleased you were there. Thank you for being there.
Now, when I went up to you two guys after the ceremony, you wouldn't acknowledge me. It was mildly disappointing.
Yeah, we were a little, distracted with the finger foods. And...
Hey, if Mike McCarthy is listening this morning, I got a little messages for him.
Okay.
Yeah, what's that, Sal?
Hey, Coach McCarthy's. Up your nose with a rubber hose.
Oh! Dang, I don't even know if I would have gone that far.
Yeah, he went there.
God, you went there.
He went there.
Take your cowgirls back to Texas where you don't know how to play his footballs. Did you see Dax Prescott's steps out on that 2 points conversion? Hey,
Yeah.
I got a message for Dax.
Okay.
What an idiot.
Dax, you have to stay in bounds for it to count.
Oh, my God! Dang, I don't know if I would have gone that far even. Jeez.
That's all.
I'm kind of known for my 6 burns.
Yeah.
You sure are, Sal. You got the attitude, dog.
I got one question for you two guys.
Yeah, what's that, Sal?
Do the Cowboys suck or what?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Oh, my God,
They
it's
got
awesome.
3 losses now.
Coming up next, Bill Berge expert Justin Montemayor will join us to tell us about his new book of crochet recipes, celebrating the life and songs of Bill Berge.
Man, that show's just too loud. I couldn't do that every morning.
I'm always tired after listening to them.
All right, it's 8:48 on the ticket.
When you call Consumer Cellular's customer support to discuss our affordable and flexible phone plans, it's like you're calling the Declaration of Independence or hot dog at a baseball game. Because Consumer Cellular's customer support is based entirely in the United States. And Consumer Cellular's customer support agents are from where you're from. The same small town that you're from. The one that stretches from California to Maine, Minnesota to Corpus Christi, Texas. The one that cares about its neighbors and lights fireworks, legal ones, in the street. So the next time you want to make a phone call that feels like an American flag waving at an air show at Magic Hour, give us a call. Even if it's for no reason at all except to exchange barbecue sauce recipes like a couple of Americans. Or make jokes about Canadians. LOL, just kidding. We love Canadians. They're our neighbors. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1.
KIDS. Kids. Run through the sprinklers, jump on the trampoline, video game playing kids. Children's Health is the best place for your kids' health care. We're the only children's hospital in North Texas to be ranked in all 10 pediatric specialties. And we offer head-to-toe care close to home. Learn how we provide incredible care for kids across Dallas, Plano, and beyond at childrens.com.
Yesterday's game was tense. It was exciting. It was frustrating. It was an opportunity for Dallas to get a really big win on the road. And when they are 1st and 5 at the 6-yard line, trailing by 5, with 27 seconds left, you know you're going to get 3, maybe 4 cracks at it. They were in really good position to win that game yesterday. But as we've talked about for the last couple of hours, it fell apart for them. So where is this team right now? Outside of being 2 games back, really 2.5 games back of Philadelphia as the Eagles go into the bye week.
Well, I feel about them about the same way I felt before the game started. We were all a little encouraged by the way the offense had kind of come to life in the last couple of weeks, and I think we all thought this would be a good game. I thought Dallas might win this game. In fact, I picked them in our weekly picks. But there are some issues. I don't think anybody this morning can say Dallas is better than Philadelphia or San Francisco, and maybe not Detroit. That's pretty clear. Now, if they played both of these teams at home, San Francisco probably still beats them. Maybe they beat Philly, and maybe they will here in a few weeks when Philly comes to town. But as of right now, to me, Dallas is at best the 3rd and at worst the 5th best team in the NFC. They've they've got some issues, and I think a lot of it starts with that offensive line and their inability to protect Dak consistently, especially at high leverage moments, and their inability to run the ball. Wasn't that one of the things Mike McCarthy said they were going to be all about this year? They cannot run the ball.
No, and that's a problem, and they're not getting good push up front from the offensive line. The same offensive line, and I understand Philadelphia has a good front, but they had 25 pass rush wins yesterday, and that's determined by your block doesn't hold for more than 2.5 seconds. That, to me, makes the performance of Dak Prescott that much more impressive yesterday, where he throws for 374 and 3 touchdowns. They made him drop back 49 times yesterday. I think that's too much, really, for any quarterback. If you're trying to throw it close to 50 times, you're probably going to get into some trouble. I'm not saying Dak was perfect yesterday, but that shows you 25 times, half the time yesterday, he had 2.5 seconds or less to throw it, and that's why he had to escape or take the sack. And I know some folks I've seen this comment a lot. Man, why didn't you just get rid of it? We need to go back and look at all 5 sacks, but
easier said than done.
Yes, and especially there at the end, he didn't have any time, because I'm telling you right now, the Cowboys need a new right tackle until further notice, because Terrence Steele right now is having a really difficult time. He's coming off of knee surgery, and I know that's tough, but if he's not ready to go, get Edoga in there and put him at right tackle. You can't have what happened yesterday, and that's not the first time. I think he's had a pretty rough season.
I don't quite understand the inability to run the ball, though. That doesn't make a lot of sense. I think he's had a rough season pass blocking, but I don't think he's been awful run blocking, and they still have Zach Martin, who may be starting to slip a little bit, but he's still great.
Well, maybe that goes back to play calling, and when people know you're going to run,
yes,
they stuff it.
Does it also go back to Tony Pollard maybe not being a top 5 starting running back in the NFL like everybody thought he was when he was a backup running back?
Maybe. But again, I give him some benefit of the doubt, and it's a guy coming off of an injury where he said he was fine, but that was still a pretty traumatic injury he suffered in January.
And have you seen more than once or twice that spark,
that extra gear
that we've seen out of him the past few years?
No.
I haven't either.
And that's what's tough on a running back in this league, is that, there's the grind, and there's also sometimes the just terrible. When you have someone just snap your leg like he did last year, that's difficult to come back from when it's all about your wheels.
And then when they do run, like the best run of the day yesterday was Rico Dowdle, that 18-yard run, breaking tackles and moving people down to the 27. But it's wiped out by the Schoonmaker hold, and so the Cowboys have to punt. That was their first possession of the second half. And then when Philly gets the ball, they score. They scored twice in that third quarter.
Yeah.
That was a killer, because it felt like the Cowboys' offense was moving and they actually got something on the ground, but penalties were one of the big stories yesterday. Each team was penalized 10 times. We had almost 200 yards in penalty yardage in that game. Ridiculous.
Yeah. And getting back to where they are, they do have these problems that we've outlined for the last 5 minutes, but Philly's got a much better record right now. But they have some of these same problems, and they've got a quarterback who's taken a beating over the last couple of years, and I'm not sure how he feels this morning. I wonder how tight his left knee is.
Could you believe he came back into the game at the end of the first half?
And that's the thing, boy, he is tough.
Yes.
And he was in pain yesterday, and he came back in that second half, led him to those 2 third-quarter drives for scores. Really impressed by him. But, they committed a lot of penalties, and look at their secondary.
Mm-hmm.
We hadn't talked about the Dallas defense yet. As to where they are, I still don't know how to figure it. I think they're good, but stop allowing making yourself play from behind. 6 straight games now, you've let your opponent go down and score on their opening possession.
Yeah, I didn't think they had a bad game, but I didn't think they had a great game.
Just somewhere in between. And I thought Philadelphia kind of helped them out with curious play calls and probably playing pretty conservatively in the fourth. They played great there, 3 3-and-outs for Philly. Their last 3 possessions.
Hurts only threw for 200. It's not like he threw for 350. They only ran for 109, not 209.
But that's, it's not complimentary football, though, when you run 10 plays in the third quarter.
Yeah.
And that's on your defense, either committing penalties to let drives continue, or you're not getting stops.
Mm-hmm. And then another bottom line to me yesterday was, and we've seen this movie before, they just don't make the plays when they have to. Whatever it is, they just can't come up with that. That last drive was a perfect example. You're telling me when they start that drive at their own 14 with no timeouts and 46 seconds left to play, that 20 seconds later they're going to be at the 6 with a first down and not score?
You go backward 20 yards?
It didn't even make sense. I would have bet anything against that they're going to be at the 6 with a first down in 20 seconds. But they were. But that's the Cowboys, whether it's these playoff games against San Francisco or big regular season games. They've won some, but they haven't won enough to equal the hype and the talent that's on the roster, and they just don't get it done. It's the little things. It's Dak stepping out of bounds on that 2-point conversion. It's the 4th and 8 throw to Tolbert that's a little high, and maybe the decision to go to Tolbert there. Our buddy Ed Werder had this number. The Cowboys are 29th in the red zone in touchdown percentage and 31st in goal-to-go touchdown percentage. 31st in the league
terrible.
In goal-to-go touchdown percentage. Dak has the highest completion percentage in the NFL outside of the red zone, but he's 16th in the red zone.
Yeah.
They struggle, and we've been talking about this since week 2, and McCarthy said, don't worry about it. We're moving it between the 20s. They still struggle in the red zone, and we saw that again yesterday.
And that's a combination of some of the things we talked about, offensive line, lack of running game. When you don't have the balance when you get in there, that's a problem. And, yeah, as far as it applies to yesterday, I think Dak, man, I thought he played a really terrific game, and especially given the pressure that was on him. And for balance, I would say, since the debacle in Santa Clara, I'm encouraged by some things like Jake Ferguson and Jalen Tolbert.
Yep.
Those guys look like they can help you now, and as you're still trying to figure out this offense, which is not quite there yet, there's a number of teams. San Francisco's taken a big jump back since they killed the Cowboys, and we'll see what Philly does the next 4 or 5 weeks. If they handle it, and they still only have one loss coming in here, yeah, they're the team to beat without question. And we'll see what happens to them in Detroit down the stretch. Seems like everybody has problems. Kind of like what we're saying when the Rangers were faltering down the stretch. Yeah, but the Astros had problems, and so did some of these other teams. I think the same applies here.
Philly in their next 5 games at Kansas City, home against Buffalo, home against San Francisco, at Dallas, at Seattle. That is not an easy 5-game stretch. But over the last 2+ seasons, they have handled, since midway through the 2021 season, I think they're 28-6 in the regular season. So they've handled just about every test they've been given over the past 2 seasons.
Yeah. Yeah, they have been the best team in the NFC these last 2 years, without question. And give their quarterback and their coach a lot of credit. As annoying as he is a heck of a coach.
Doesn't have the other. Same thing.
Kind of turned it around on us there, didn't you?
We've had 6 wins and only 1 loss, which means we have played like 61 games or 17 games.
No.
I'm not sure of the math because I don't have a dictionary in front of me or anything. But
that's 7.
I have a good feeling about this team. I mean, we still have Luka, and he is good at dribbling and doing score plays, so I think that he's going to score the championship points.
Okay. Well, so far this season, he has been really great in the clutch. He's got ice water in his veins, doesn't he?
Well, I don't think that's possible to be alive and have ice water in your veins. I mean, look, I understand how you can go to the doctor and get a blood transfusion and they put different blood in your veins, like from a political donor or pig blood from a cow or something. But I don't think you can go to the hospital and get your blood replaced with ice water. I mean, even if the water, you can put that in there, how are you going to get the ice cubes into the IV
Yeah,
drip?
okay. It was just a figure of speech.
They're going to melt too quick. Then you just have cold water in your veins, and no vampire will make love to you.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
It sounds like you have been putting in some late night hours, but that's what's expected as the head coach. You're the first one to get there, and you're the last one out, right?
Well, I'm not the first one in the building, nor am I the last one out. I mean, I'm not sure where you got the logs from the electric fob reader, and I would really question the legality of you breaking into our mainframe with your hacker buddies and stealing the secrets of our fob reader and then selling them on the black market to fund your opioid habit. I mean, that seems...
Yeah, George.
I don't know. That's a big jump by you right there. But it is kind of funny.
Well, you have had a bit of a soft schedule to start the season. The schedule gets a lot tougher in the next 2 or 3 weeks. That's going to be a bit of a gut check for you guys.
Well, I don't think it's going to be a gut check. I mean, we don't have time to get colonoscopies or anything to get a profile of our gut flora to make sure we have the most basketball biodome or something. I mean, I doubt we'll have time to visit all your recommended gastroenterologists to satisfy your curiosity as to what our precious doo-doo has treasures of. That just seems weird.
No. Again, just a saying. Just a saying.
Well, we think you're off to. It's been fun to watch your team. I hope it goes well. We appreciate the time this morning.
All right, I thank you guys.
Okay, we'll see you later.
All right, you want me to take it easy, right?
Oh, yeah. We want you to take it easy. Yeah, that's right.
All right, I will. Thanks. Bye.
What a jerk.
Okay, bye.
Okay. Not the ending that we hoped for. 8:47 on the ticket.
When you call Consumer Cellular's customer support to discuss our affordable and flexible phone plans, it's like you're calling the Declaration of Independence or a hot dog at a baseball game. Because Consumer Cellular's customer support is based entirely in the United States. And Consumer Cellular's customer support agents are from where you're from. The same small town that you're from. The one that stretches from California to Maine, Minnesota to Corpus Christi, Texas. The one that cares about its neighbors and lights fireworks. Legal ones, in the street. So the next time you want to make a phone call that feels like an American flag waving at an air show at Magic Hour, give us a call. Even if it's for no reason at all except to exchange barbecue sauce recipes like a couple of Americans. Or make jokes about Canadians. LOL, just kidding. We love Canadians. They're our neighbors. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888...
The Signal right now. There he is.
Already here.
Where
See
is
the
he?
signal, and I show up immediately.
It's a nice...
And man, it's kind of a beating today. This shows you my commitment because I was already, I would say, 7/10 of the way home when I saw the signal, had to turn around, get back here to the studio.
Well, when you look in the skies and you'll see your face in lights.
Yes.
We're calling you. Please
Thanks
help
for coming
us.
back.
Yes,
Please.
it's a silhouette of my face and with my big Cro-Magnon forehead. Like I have the worst looking. Look how non-human this looks right here.
What are you
Like
talking
pre-human
about?
human?
Yeah, I see this. I have a huge brow line. What do you call that?
Oh, well, it's
Yeah.
like it's swollen. What is that?
Well, it's not swollen.
skull,
that's my
man.
Donnie. That's the way the Lord made me, sir.
That's why he was born.
So
Swollen skull.
Yeah, born this way.
It's a 5-head.
Cro-Magnon.
I don't have a 5 head. That usually refers to the
you can show a
tall forehead.
Show a movie
your
on
hair
that
is not
thing.
receding or anything. You have a full, thick head of hair.
Yes.
Like a drive-in.
I've talked about this before. I'm noticing more and more hair in the shower drain.
Are you really?
Yeah. And I asked the doctor about it when I was in the, getting the physical. And he says, no, it's not male pattern baldness, because that would be balding in the top of my head and then on my temples.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, Donnie.
Yeah, I was born this way.
Yes.
No, I don't think so.
Please.
So
it was leaving me a long time ago. I knew what my status was going to be. It was high school, college, wedding. Damn. 98 is when I shaved it all off, and I've been doing it ever since.
The 4 levels of baldness. Nice.
That's 4 levels.
I've always wanted to go with the full bald head look, the shaved head look.
You should do it tomorrow.
Your hair will grow back if you don't like it.
It'll take too long to do that, although my hair does seem to grow fast, but that just may be a subjective perception thing. Doesn't grow any faster than anybody else's.
Like I've always imagined, because my grandfather had tons of ear hair, and I found it disgusting. But it feels like the nose hair is just like natural. Like, is that equally disgusting? If you see someone walking around and they have hairs poking out of their nose?
Yes, you should manscape your
of
nose
course
hair.
you do, yeah. I just feel sometimes
I feel like the nose is worse than the ear.
I don't know.
They're both pretty bad. I watched a movie recently, an old Albert Brooks movie, and he took off his shirt. And why a major motion picture star would just allow the back hair, I don't understand. In a film. And like he had hair just all over his shoulders and his back.
That's pretty bad. I couldn't keep hair on my back.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
Like I have hair on my chest
but it's
and my
gotta be
belly.
It's got to be hard to shave that stuff, though, right? Maybe that's
you
why
can get a
people aren't
back
doing it.
shaver. They make those with an extended handle so you can groom your back.
It doesn't feel
if you
very
need to.
accurate.
No, you got to look in the mirror.
Who wants to do that?
I just don't like hair, man.
I don't know that I've ever looked in the
You
mirror
don't like
and liked
hair?
anything I've ever seen.
No, like below my neck, I just not a fan of hair.
Do you get the laser pubic hair removal, Matt?
No, but I take care of all of that myself for the most part.
Do you have a dedicated shaver for it, or is it the same one you use on your beard?
No, I have a dedicated shaver for it, yeah. But
I don't
do
believe
use-
you. You didn't say that with a lot of...
Well, because I was trying to think what that would... Because the razor that I use...
For down there?
Yeah, for certain stuff, I switch the blade out, but it's the same razor handle.
You razor it?
Yeah.
I don't
not-
razor it.
Yeah, you shouldn't razor it. You
right.
should
I
use
feel like that would be
hair
very,
trimmer.
very uncomfortable growing back if I razored it.
Well, it was when I first started doing it, but I've been doing it for over 20 years.
Even the boys, you razor the boys.
Yeah.
That's always tricky.
I know. That feels like
You got to be very careful.
You talk about bleeding like a stuck pig if you
Yeah, you don't want to
nick that
any
area.
crossways is like, oh my gosh, what's happening?
Yeah, I don't
like
know.
a soda fountain.
I think your skin adjusts to it. Yeah. Like, whoops.
Like, damn.
Yeah, there's been some incidences when I was younger.
Yeah, that is. It's kind of hard to, it's kind of hard to get the air to heal when you nick yourself down there. It just takes forever. So you have to be really careful. There's no way I'd put a razor down there.
Yeah.
Not even close.
And it seemed like it took guys a lot longer to realize that they need to take care of that area the way that
And underarms.
Women do.
The women's were doing it.
But there are some dudes that don't take care of the underarms. And it's
Right.
just still full buckwheat and a headlock.
Yeah, I can't do that either.
You guys
Bingo.
shamed me. You guys shamed me into shaving my armpits a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
good.
You had 70s porn.
Yeah.
I did not have an afro under
Just
my
smelling
armpits.
like a.
What?
Smelling like what?
Go ahead, Donnie. What?
I was going to hit another bingo, and I don't want to. I don't want to satisfy your bingo card. I don't want you to win.
I'm not here for your bingo card, sir.
I was going to say smelling like a wet puppy. Bingo!
Oh, yes, bingo. Donnie always accusing white people of smelling like wet puppies.
That is so not true.
It is kind of true, though,
Why
isn't
I got accused of that also growing up. It just wasn't a
that you smelled like wet
thing.
puppies?
Of course. When I'm outside as a kid all day, hey, you smell like a wet puppy. Go take a bath.
That'll happen.
I want to hear about more things you like, stereotypes of white people that you heard growing up.
Yeah, what else?
I always get a kick out. What's another one that we like? Mayo a lot.
Yeah, that's just I think that's just one of the outward ones that are out there.
God, so weird.
That's not one of the good secret ones that
What?
you don't share.
Yeah, my uncle hit me up to a couple that I still think to this very day. As I heard it a ton growing up, though, so I had to believe it, right?
Like what?
It was that soap doesn't lather up on white people's skin. That's why you guys smell like that.
Come on. Why wouldn't it? That's
we just
so
have
bizarre.
something in our skin that doesn't respond to soap.
Soap resistant.
Yeah, like
we have soap resistant
anti-aloe or something. I don't know.
Anti-aloe.
I just heard that.
Wow.
It's like, wow. Okay.
It lathers,
All right.
man.
And then you walk around.
Checks
maybe,
out.
maybe that's right.
Okay,
Because we smell like wet puppies.
Hit me with another one. What else?
Because all the mayonnaise we eat.
Well, the big one was, never trust a black man without a mustache or a white man with one. That was big.
There's something kind of to that, isn't there?
And not
Like
even the
just a
full
mustache,
beard,
though,
just
right?
the mustache,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, that's okay.
So a bald-faced brother is like, I don't know. You kind of look at him sideways.
So Tom Selleck would just not work.
Yeah, you don't trust him.
Okay.
Like, you just keep him at arm's distance because you know what? Hey,
I think
I
you
don't
trust
know.
Tom Selleck because he had a nice mustache.
But he was.
It's the what's the guy's name
Wilford
for the
Brimley?
Rangers?
I thought
Lowe.
to say Hitler.
Derek
Oh,
Lowe.
yeah.
Yeah, like that. That's
Nathaniel
the kind
Lowe?
of Nathaniel Lowe.
So I
if you
think
had
he's
like
more fun.
Like a walrus mustache is okay. Like a Wilford Brimley
Wilford
type.
Brimley,
Yeah.
something like that.
Is it?
Andy Reid.
But the little Derek Lowe, yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, Nate Lowe. I was thinking Derek Holland.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Nate
You know
Lowe's
what?
with it's the little pencil thin one that just kind of creeps me out.
I've not subscribed to that. I don't.
You got another
There's
one
another
in
one.
mind?
What is it?
No.
You're smiling as you're thinking of all the
You're like,
horrible
can I say
things.
This? Is this okay?
No, we really didn't have to think about those because seriously, growing up, besides school teachers, those were basically only the white people I saw. Like growing up in the hood, man, it was just us and Hispanics in school the whole time. The first time I really had a class with more than one white person was my first day of college.
And he had a mustache?
And it
That
freaked
stat
me
still
out.
freaks me out.
It freaked me out.
That was the first time you ever had a white classmate?
Well, more than one because we did have one white girl
We
in
did
my high
have
school.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one
That
guy.
offends me that you worded it
We
that
met
way.
our quota in high school with one girl.
It was
And
that dude
it.
that came to that place we were broadcasting from like 2 months ago. Remember that guy? He was a white guy. Showed up. Was like, hey, me and you went to school together.
Wasn't in my class though.
Oh, okay. All right.
Were you a big dog in school?
So I'm talking about 1988.
Okay.
So how was that one girl
She was
treated?
fine.
Did
She
she
was
have
great.
an active social life and everything?
I don't know that, but I almost asked her to prom because my date kind of dissed me, and I needed a date, and I thought about it, but back in '88, things are different.
Gosh. Would you have been frowned upon had you taken her?
Not saying frowned upon, but it's not the regular case that we have right now. You see a lot of mixed couples now.
Right. Yeah, now it feels like there's...
Wasn't the case in '88. But we would have had a good time. No one in our class would have said anything badly about us being out there. No one. It would have been fun. It would have been fine.
So you went from going all the way... You had to go all the way to college before you had multiple...
White students.
White students.
I'm telling you,
around
first
you.
day, first class, I walk in, and I sit close to the front, of course, because I'm a nerd and I'm nervous.
math man.
But everyone around was like, holy crap, like, wow, first time. And then there was a brother who walked into the class, and I felt a little bit of relief because, okay, at least if it goes down, I'm back to back with him, and we can fight our way out of here. He walked in a couple of steps.
Overconfidence, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, calm down.
Kind of looked down at his thing, looked up, and then walked out. And I'm like, damn it!
no.
Damn it! So yeah, first class, only brother in there, first day. I was nervous.
Yeah, that had to
It was
be
different.
weird, right? Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I survived though.
Now look at you
So
now.
you're still
I made
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I look in, I walk
Still
in.
in. I was about to say.
Same situation, right?
You front-loaded your life, and then now the whole rest of your life just seems to be so different.
It is a shock. That's
blow me up, pal.
What he's trying to say is
What
to blow
Donnie's
me up.
trying to say.
I seriously thought about going to a HBCU just to, kind of continue the tradition and feel a little bit more comfortable. I really thought about it, but
which one were you considering?
Texas Southern.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I would have graduated.
Yeah.
That's a kick in the school, man, and I wasn't
partied too
mature
much?
enough to.
Yeah.
I wasn't mature enough to handle that. So I'm glad I didn't.
You don't strike me as a partier, though. Like
I
somebody
would have gotten
wouldn't-
down there
Really?
and lost my damn mind. Like there are some people that get to a campus.
You're like
that's
one of the
not a
most responsible guys I know, though.
Well, that's only occurred like after college.
Like what changed for you? What made you get your act together and not go down the partying way?
Well, I really didn't do a ton of it in high school. Like a lot of people, they drink, they went to parties and all that. I really didn't do that in high school.
I didn't either.
And my senior year, it was conflicted because I skipped a grade and I was 16. But all my friends are 18 and they're doing 18-year-old things. And my parents are like, well, you're 16. Like, but I'm a senior. Like, we have to come to some compromise or something. And so I just didn't party that much. So when you get to college and you don't have any adult supervision as far as
it's a
you
shock
have to go
the
to this
system.
class,
Right.
you have to do this, and there are parties available all over the place, and no professor cares that you're doing this. Like I was on scholastic probation like for a couple of semesters. I kicked it hard and then realized like, oh crap, like this is not what this is all about. My older sister kind of did the same thing. She was salutatorian of the class. She went down to Austin and she kicked it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, okay, well, I'm going to do something different. And then it just hit me the same way. And we weren't like sheltered or anything growing up. It was just, oh my gosh, all this freedom for me. I can do whatever I want.
Interesting.
This is great.
So
So how long did it take you to finish school?
5 years.
That's about normal.
Yeah, that's.
I dropped fencing
Took me 10.
in college. I dropped fencing also. Yeah.
So you were 17 as a college freshman.
Just turned 17 when we got on campus. It was
That's
a whole new
wild.
world.
You see these 18-year-olds walking around. You're like, oh, hey, girl.
Hey, how you doing?
You're like, you want to come back to my dorm?
Well, no, I did not have that courage. No.
I didn't either. So you like as soon as you got there were partying and just drinking and
Not really drinking a ton, but I was at every single party. Anytime there was a gathering involved, I was right there.
Well, what are you
Like,
doing
I
at the
couldn't
party if
miss
you're
it.
not drinking?
Well, you're dancing, you have a good time, trying to talk up on girls.
Yeah, see, I forget that you and I are very different. I'm a never dance.
Oh, I'm
and
an
you're a guy
always
who
dance.
always dancing.
And I feel like that was the one thing that I did okay to get the girl to go, okay, he has a little rhythm on him. Oh, maybe I can talk to him instead of walking up, with a thing of Crown or something. Walking, hey, baby, how you doing? That's wasn't my game.
So how successful were you in college with the lady?
yeah, because they were all older than you,
I know.
and they liked that. Like, did you tell them that you were 17?
Yeah, I couldn't lie to him.
Man, interesting.
Like how much did you pad your stats during those years?
Well, it was only padding because high school was
a
no
drought?
stat book. Oh yeah, oh my gosh, no, not even close.
So you lost it when you were 18?
In college? No, it was even a couple of years into college.
Same as me.
20?
19?
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
Dang.
Like I talked a good game, and there were girls that liked me, but I was so
Well, you
scared.
class president,
I was
man.
so scary when it came to the ladies.
Did the girl that allowed you access to the most heavenly
to deflower her?
Delicate? No, she.
Yeah.
I didn't deflower her. let
Did
me
she
tell
know?
you.
Yeah, he almost fell in.
You're like, is it supposed to be like this? I thought this was awesome. Why? This isn't that great.
Is there anybody in there? In there?
She's like, well, I think you are.
I think I am. I don't know.
So did she know that this was your initial
wow.
outing?
That's a great question. I don't know.
You didn't tell her?
Or did you try to pass it off as,
And she's like,
this
wow,
is,
that was
this is
never
old
again.
for you, man.
There's-
You've
there's
been here before.
Probably a 100% chance I tried to pass it off like I
Yeah.
was, king, you know what,
She's
and
like,
had
wow.
no idea what I was doing.
Man, that's wild.
That was a White Elephant Day
Story?
no,
December
it's not a
6th?
story, but we thought about maybe bringing in the one who deflowered you to to have for a segment.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Touch the V.
I can't do
Would
that.
you do that, Matt?
Have that girl come up? No way.
How old was she?
We were 20-something, I think. Trying to remember, yeah.
Was this a girlfriend or just a girl at a party?
Girl that I
or?
was very much into, yeah. We were dating for a while.
And were y'all waiting till marriage or trying to?
Yeah, I think,
why
I don't know.
you waited for a while with her? So
Yes, I was almost 22. Yes.
Dang.
Yeah. I don't know. When I was in college and high school, I was kind of the same. I was really into youth group and all that. I didn't drink at all in high school. I think I drank twice in my life before I turned 21. Never partied, never did anything. And I was really nervous.
I was scared. Yeah, it was. That's
I kind
all
of
it was
had
for
in my
me.
head that there's a lot of fun things you can do that don't result in a baby. So, I don't know.
It rhymes with banal.
I'm trying to figure out what that is.
That.
I don't know. You have to explain it to me later.
I was a very late
Should've said
developer with
banal.
all that I was really nervous about all
And I was
that.
so envious of all the cool dudes in school. You know what? They probably, some of them weren't doing anything, but they put out the perception of like, every girl walking around they had. And I'm like, man, that's so great. I wish I could do that. Just so far away from actually even happening.
So how would you rate your performance on that first time?
F.
Well, yes, I know, but I'm saying how would you rate your performance during that?
F. It's terrible. I know it was. Hell, I probably ranked the last performance I had as an F. I don't think there are too many passing grades on my ledger.
Still have a failing average for all these years?
I don't know.
What about you, Matt? How did it go?
It's just one of those awkward instances.
And that's the one thing I want to know. Like,
she was like, okay, I mean, don't move. I was like, why not? She's like, I don't. I mean, it was just, I don't know. It was weird.
There's no way.
You don't know what you're doing.
No, there's no way she thought that was probably 40 seconds into it. She knew, okay.
That's got to be
This
the most
dude has
awkward
no
moment of your
clue
entire
what the
life.
hell is
Matt
happening
never
here.
got to the 40-second mark.
You know what? I probably
wants to know
didn't,
what that's
honestly.
What's that feeling? Oh, my gosh.
I mean, is that not the most awkward moment of lifetime? The first time ever? That it has to be, because you're afraid
But you'll
to say,
never
like,
forget it. And then if you're with someone, it wasn't their first time, they have no clue. Like, it's out of their minds as soon as it's done, and this is something so precious for you in your heart because it just happened, and this is the greatest. I'm going to ask her. I have her number. Who
Do you
deflowered
really?
Me. Oh, yeah.
Let's call her
I
out.
know exactly who it is.
When was the last
Call
time
her
you
right
talked
now.
to her?
Oh, years.
Hello, who's this?
No, she'd know.
Oh, is that why they call you Donnie Doo?
Yeah, she remembers.
But she doesn't
Not a
know.
clue.
You said that she didn't know.
She doesn't probably remember that. She probably still, to this day, doesn't know that was my first time.
Were there repeat performances with her, or was this a one-time thing?
Boy, that's a great. No, I think there were maybe a couple of repeat performances, and I think that was about it. Yeah, maybe I have to think about it. I'll think about it.
Yeah, we'll call her and ask her. She might remember.
That's a very personal thing that'll be out there on the airwaves.
Does your wife know this person?
Yes.
Like, you guys hang out?
No, we went to school together.
Oh. She messaged her for tips when y'all first met?
Hell no.
Did your wife ever text her and say, why didn't you warn me?
Well, yeah,
This is going to be this disappointing.
Oh, he's still throwing out F's, huh? D-. I think the highest grade I've ever received was a C+, and I probably ran around like Rocky after winning about some.
C+ is good, dude.
Thinking about giving Bruce Bochy a call.
I don't know if he can coach football.
I tell you, I hate playing in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Because of that human trash they call fans.
Okay, now.
That is such a rough crowd. I mean, they throw stuff at you. Gene got hit by somebody's artificial leg this week.
Oh dear.
My gosh.
Thing flew 20 yards through the air. Hit her right in the wig, too.
Oh, no.
Man.
And someone apparently brought in an ice cooler full of transplant organs or something, pelted us throughout the whole game.
Gosh. It's a
Kidneys
rough crowd.
and livers and corneas and Jerry Jr. took a scrotum right square in the face.
Okay.
Oh, it'll be
honest, I ain't sure that ain't happened before.
Okay, now. That's your son.
Nothing but fun. Nothing but fun and around. When that replay showed that Dak stepped out of bounds there on that 2-point conversions, my heart sunk lower than my balls because I knew we were going to lose then. And say what you want about the former Zeke Elliott, but at least when he stepped out of bounds, it was just honking parade boobs. Dak is losing games for us.
I don't know if you put this one on Dak.
Well, he's the quarterback.
Yeah.
And what's that they say? They say the F stops here.
The F?
What's the saying?
The buck. It's with a B.
I always misunderstood it. I'm so sorry. I always misunderstood that.
Oh, man.
But maybe Dak isn't so much a miracle as maybe a mixed blessing. Let's give him that. At least he's a great quarterback that you just can't win in the postseason with.
Okay,
I can't say that definitively yet.
Remains to be seen.
I love that. Historically, I love that. You know that about me.
Yeah, I guess so.
But hey, what about that Jake Ferguson, that C.D. Lamb? I mean, I thought that I did a hell of a good job GMing them onto our team.
Yeah, they had good games.
They had good games, and you got to look at the positivities. Always look at the positivities.
Well, look who threw him the ball. How about that positivity?
Do not focus on the trites. Always focus on the positivities.
Okay.
Speaking of positivities, did you see that the judge this past week dismissed the defamation lawsuit that gal claiming to be one of my 90s fun babies brought?
Yeah, we saw it.
Congrats.
That just goes to show you what the power of prayer can do. That's right, prayers. I said it, prayers. A lot of people don't know this about me, but I spent a lot of time praying that this judge would take the giant payoffs I was offering to him, and thank goodness. Thank goodness he did. Prayers are answered.
Yeah, I didn't really know you prayed. Is that your Bible?
It's a Bible.
Okay.
But, yeah, so now I won't have to get dragged into court so they can stand there and watch me as I uncomfortably have to fire baby batter into test tubes that they can try to prove that gal's one of my fun babies. So, it was interesting this past week. I think something kind of hit me, a realization. Something dawned on me.
Yeah? What's that?
I got into an argument in a bar with a group of millennials. And they was all telling me, typical stuff, that I'm not a very good general manager and that I suck and I need to sell the Cowboys and all this. And I whipped out my usual, did you like those 3 Super Bowls? I hope you did. I hope you did.
Always a good defense.
And they screamed back, no, actually we didn't. When I realized then they weren't born.
Yeah, it won't work with them.
They had not been born, so they did not get to experience and enjoy them. So
that'll tell you something.
Yeah, and hey, how'd you like how I handled the trade deadline, huh?
Well, you didn't do anything.
Came and went, and I did nothing. I ignored it, just like I ignored Jean when she complains about a new heir showing up on our doorstep every week with a fresh lawsuit. I ignored it. And Terrence Steele, I don't want to say something negative here, but Terrence Steele is about as porous as Biden's southern border.
Gosh.
We need to build a wall on Dak's right side.
That would help.
That would help a little bit. But we got another game coming up, and that's always another opportunity.
I think you can beat the Giants.
Oh, we're definitely going to beat the Giants. You can bet on it. As a matter of fact, I'm betting that we're beating the Giants.
You're going to bet on it.
Yeah,
that's illegal.
I win all my bets, too, because I put $100,000 on the Eagles last week.
Okay, Jerry. Don't let the league hear that.
Yeah, it sounds really wrong. All right, there goes Jerry. 8:47 on the ticket.
Freedom is the key to any good relationship. It's about being around each other because you want to be around each other, not because some contract or some inflexible data plan are holding you down. Consumer Cellular knows that a good connection with somebody isn't something you can take for granted. It's something you earn with every bill you send, every fee you don't charge, every charge you don't hide. That's why Consumer Cellular lets you walk away at any time. No feelings hurt. That's why at Consumer Cellular, you only pay for the data you need each month, whether it's 1 gig or a bajillion. So anyway, listener, Consumer Cellular wanted me to ask you if you're into that kind of thing, freedom, love, having a good time. If maybe you wanted to go steady. If you do, check yes or call us. We love talking on the phone. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
Meet the Bed by Thuma, the perfect platform bed frame. Thoughtfully handcrafted from upcycled wood, the bed is strong, backed by a lifetime warranty, and ships directly to your door. Assembly takes 5 minutes, no tools needed. To get $25 towards the bed, go to Thuma.co. That's THUMA.co to receive $25 off your purchase of the bed.
Don't hide. That's why Consumer Cellular lets you walk away at any time. No feelings hurt. That's why at Consumer Cellular, you only pay for the data you need each month, whether it's 1 gig or a bajillion. So anyway, listener, Consumer Cellular wanted me to ask you if you're into that kind of thing, freedom, love, having a good time. If maybe you wanted to go steady. If you do, check yes or call us. We love talking on the phone. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
Get an inside look at Hollywood with Michael Rosenbaum.
Let's get into the fascinating, wonderful Bonnie Wright.
Oh, yeah. Ralph Fiennes was the most chilling actor to work around.
He wasn't funny and making jokes.
No. A little bit, but in, Voldemort way.
Did you feel like he got very little direction? They let him do what he was doing?
I'm sure he was probably the type of actor that would go kind of quietly and speak to the director rather than
what am I doing wrong? What do you want me to do?
Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Wherever you listen.
Last week when we were talking about the Big 12, I said there are 2 teams you don't want to play right now, Kansas State and Oklahoma State. And that's who Texas and Oklahoma played respectfully, the 2 top teams in the Big 12. Texas played K-State in Austin, matchup of 2 ranked teams. And Texas had their work cut out for them, even though they went up 27-7. They seem to be in control of this game. And then all of a sudden, here comes K-State. They get a turnover here. They get a turnover there. They block a punt. And the next thing you know, Texas is in a dogfight. They're in a tie game. And K-State has a debacle. They have a extra point that would have given them a 1-point lead. The holder wasn't ready. And the snapper hit him right in the chest. That went haywire. And then they miss a 27-yarder. That's 4 points right there they threw away. And they end up losing 33-30 in overtime because K-State went for the win at the end, trailing by 3. I don't blame them for that. And Texas defense stood up, and they get the win. I don't know what to say outside of it was a heck of a job for Texas to get out of there with a win. That's a game that maybe they certainly could have or should have lost. And Blake Murphy is a very inexperienced quarterback. I thought they made him maybe do too much on Saturday, given their ground game and given the supporting cast around him. I think they try to make him make some pretty difficult plays and throws, and that put them into harm's way. But they got out of it with the win. I'm really impressed by K-State in the way that they've turned their season around. And that was a game Texas easily could have lost.
Yeah, that fourth quarter, he didn't have any kind of a running game to support him. They only had 30 yards on 11 carries in that fourth quarter. And his game, his completion percentage wasn't very good. 2 interceptions. One of them was awful. But yet they were up so big.
Yeah.
Like, that's what doesn't make a whole lot of sense about that game to me. Maybe Kansas State just tremendously underperformed early and they're a lot better than what they showed, or Texas let the foot off the gas, or the turnovers killed them. It was just a very strange game. It was a game, I'll put it this way, that I think if Ewers had played, Texas might have won by 30.
I think they would have won. Yeah, it wouldn't have been a one-score game, but it's pretty wild. Between these two teams, 7 of the last 8 meetings have been one-score games. And
wow.
It was a pretty scary movie, but Texas escapes. Now they play TCU this Saturday, and TCU's had a downtime, but like everybody else, they'll get the Horned Frogs' best shot. Oklahoma and Texas go through that.
They said Ewers could be back, but it's probably going to be the following week.
Sarkisian said yesterday that he's more day-to-day. He used to be week-to-week, that he's been throwing. He threw yesterday, so, yeah, it sounds like he's getting closer. But they may have one more week of Malik Murphy. In the meantime, if there is ever a game where the opponent can't wait for either Texas or Oklahoma to run through there, if you wear orange at Oklahoma State, you just wanted one more shot at the Sooners, and they are really heartbroken on the fact that Oklahoma's not only leaving, but that Bedlam is coming to an end. Even though they've been on the short end of a lot of these through the years, they were very fired up. I'll say this about Mike Gundy, because he is an unusual creature. There's no doubt about it. And earlier this season, I heard even Oklahoma State people thinking that he was probably going to get run at the end of this year because they looked so bad. South Alabama went in there and just knocked them all over the field. And they were playing 3 different quarterbacks, and they just didn't look good. It seems like every year, by about week 3 or 4, whatever their record is, Gundy will figure out, okay, this is the team I have, and this is what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And this year it was, well, we've got this running back who we've barely given the ball to in the first 4 games of the season. We're going to feature Ollie Gordon. We're going to settle on a quarterback. It's Alan Bowman, the transfer from Texas Tech. And they've looked like a totally different team in the last month or so. And sure enough, they beat OU 27-24. Wild game. Certainly could have gone either way. The Gabriel fumbled snap that was huge when OU is up 27-21 in the fourth quarter. That was just a mistake they couldn't afford to make. That was huge. Oklahoma State had regained the lead. And then that fumble happened to give them another score to make it difficult on OU. But, man, that's what made it 27-21 after they got set up on that fumble. That was huge for Oklahoma, and they maybe don't look the same as they did that afternoon. I think that maybe the definition of this Oklahoma team. They're not as good as they were that day against Texas, where they played just a terrific game. Outside of that, they just they are not as good as they were that Saturday.
No, the Texas game was a little bit of fool's gold for Oklahoma fans because then they were undefeated and they knocked off Texas. This is the game, though, that I'd been worrying about for Oklahoma for a couple of weeks. Once it looked like Oklahoma State was getting their act together, Texas always wants to beat Oklahoma, but they're going to the SEC together. Oklahoma State always wants to beat Oklahoma, and this is their last shot.
Yeah.
And it was in Stillwater. And there was just so much about this game. And Oklahoma had not played well since the Texas game. That UCF game and then the loss to Kansas.
Yeah.
They just had not looked like a very good football team. And so it was going to be a wild ride the rest of the season. But this game was such a losable game for them. Yet they were in a really good position. The turnovers did kill them. The 97-yard drive by Oklahoma State in the fourth quarter killed them.
Yeah.
If this Oklahoma team's calling card is supposed to be defense, you can't let Oklahoma State go 97 yards on you.
Yeah.
That just can't happen. And Ollie Gordon is completely legit.
He's good, isn't he?
Fun to watch.
Yeah.
Can't really compare him to anybody. There's a little Eric Dickerson in that he's so tall and runs upright, but there's not really a good comparison for him. He's just really, really good, yet it still comes down to that controversial play at the end. Hey, you know me, I hate complaining about officiating, but the non-pass interference call on Drake Stoops in the end zone, I didn't hear a single national analyst say that wasn't pass interference. It was blatantly pass interference, and how that couldn't be called, I don't know.
Yeah, that was a miscall for sure. And it brings up the topic of, are the Sooners and the Longhorns not getting the whistle? That's an isolated call. I've seen a lot of the Sooners games. I haven't seen every play. I can't think of another more blatant one. Texas finally addressed it this week. Steve Sarkisian addressed it because he brought up the fact that he has two of the best defensive tackles in T'Vondre Sweat and Byron Murphy. And by his estimation, there has not been one holding call on an opponent trying to block them. That's pretty wild as we get in here to November. And Horn Sports has documented this. It's not just a complaint about a call here or a call there. This is their Week 10 update on holding calls on the opponent. Rice, 0. Bama, 1. That was an SEC crew. Wyoming, 0. Baylor, 1. That was declined. Kansas, 1. Oklahoma, 0. Houston, 1. That was declined. BYU, 0. The K-State game, there was one holding call, but Texas was also called for a late hit on the play. Pass interference calls on opponents. And keep in mind, I think Texas has the best receiving core in the Big 12, given what they have in Sanders and everything they got on the outside. Worthy and Mitchell, those guys are great. Rice, 0. Bama, 2. That was an SEC crew. Wyoming, 0. Baylor, 1. Kansas, 0. Oklahoma, 0. Houston, 0. BYU, 0. And no interference call by K-State. They had another one, maybe not as blatant as the Stoops one, but on Worthy, it was pretty clear it was interference, was not called. Texas had to settle for a field goal. I don't believe in the conspiracy that the commissioner put it out, hey, whatever you do, don't give these guys the whistle. I don't think that's happening. But by the way that is documented there by Horn Sports, and I don't have it confirmed by another source, but that's what they say, and it does seem pretty one-sided. Sarkisian even brought it up this week in his press conference. I know some of these Big 12 officials, I seriously doubt in their mind they are, I'm going to stick it to Oklahoma, I'm going to stick it to Texas. But they have been, if it's subconscious, maybe, and they are employees of the Big 12 Conference. With them, these feelings run deep, and maybe they are a Baylor grad, and maybe they're not a Texas grad, and they don't want it. They don't like all this stuff. I don't know. I could see the possibility where subconsciously maybe you don't throw the flag.
Well, I think the message has been coming down from on high since August when Brett Yormark, the Big 12 commissioner, was at that rally in
Texas Tech,
Lubbock, Texas Tech, and he says to McGuire, I'm going to be in Austin for Thanksgiving. You better take care of business like you did right here in Lubbock last year. Telling the Texas Tech coach to beat Texas. Yeah. That's the Big 12 commissioner.
Right.
And he is clearly has it out for Texas and Oklahoma, as most people in the Big 12 do, because they're being left behind. And so, yeah, maybe the order isn't out. And I'll say this, watching Oklahoma games this year, I haven't really noticed it. I've noticed bad calls. But I've noticed bad calls every year for 50 years. That call on Saturday was the first time I thought,
that was horse hockey there. That was really bad.
Maybe they do have it out for Oklahoma and Texas. So while maybe an order hasn't been given from on high, he basically has been fostering that attitude, Yormark, in what he is saying. And if he's saying stuff like this publicly, go beat Texas, then that has a trickle-down effect.
Yeah. And that's why we said at the time, you can't say things like that.
Right.
Because then if you have organizations documenting this, what seems to be a pretty big imbalance of non-holding calls and non-interference against Texas, then it's it's that much tougher to defend. Even if it was a joke comment and you were saying that to your audience, really playing it up to your audience, That's not good. Everyone's upset that's still staying in the Big 12 that these two teams are leaving, but you still have a responsibility as long as they're in the conference for fair treatment, and we're still all together.
Fernando came up with a great hypothetical. Do you think Brett Yormark deep down wants Texas in the college football playoff? Because the negative is, it sounds like he wants Texas to lose all their games. It's an SEC team, basically. You know, Texas will reap the benefits of going to this playoff in the SEC next year.
Right.
And all the talk around Texas once they get to the college football playoff, if they do, will be that they're going to the SEC. This is the last. But on the positive side for the Big 12, that's a lot of money that the conference would be raking in. And it's the prestige of being able to market, hey, we got another team in the college football playoff. So I don't know deep down, I think he probably doesn't want them there because it feels like deep down he wants OU and Texas to get beat every week.
Yeah. My first reaction was, yeah, of course he wants them to go because then he can say our conference has put a member into what if Texas wins their semifinal game? The Big 12's had a representative in the national championship game the last 2 years, but and plus the windfall of money. But I think the bottom line is, if the question is he rooting for them? No.
No.
I don't think so. He would love the story of Oklahoma State coming out of nowhere to be the two-loss champion of the Big 12 and to beat Texas or Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship game. And I guess right now, Texas and Oklahoma State have the inside track. It's really changed here in the last couple of weeks. But yeah, I understand it from the Sooners and Longhorns perspective, and it doesn't seem fair because I do think the Big 12 owes you fairness for as long as you're in the conference.
And also in fairness, OU and Texas making that decision to go to the SEC, they knew the last year wouldn't be easy.
Yeah.
They knew they were going to get everybody's best shot and angry crowds and probably angry officials and probably angry conference officials. This is part of that decision. It's not fair, but it's part of it. This is college football where things really have never been fair.
No, they haven't been. A&M awaits Oklahoma and Texas in the SEC. Will they have a new coach? Another loss for Jimbo. Really entertaining game against Ole Miss. They get beat 38-35. But bottom line, it's another L.
So is this right? They've lost 9 straight SEC road games?
Yes.
And they are 4-10 in their past 14 games against Power 5 opponents.
Yeah.
That is not good.
$70+ million. I talked to someone yesterday and said that the Aggies would only have to reach halfway down their pockets to pay that. It still seems just outrageous to me, but you know, when you sign someone to that kind of contract, you're signing up for that. So
right.
Yeah, I think they can do it. And I would say one more loss, and we're talking about that being a real possibility, and I think that loss is out there for them.
They've got LSU still.
Yeah. That's probably it there.
Yeah, you're right. When you sign somebody to a contract like that, you hope for the best. But you also have to plan for the worst. And they have known for years now that would be the buyout if he can't turn this thing around. And they're no better. You've seen these memes have been going around for 2 years now. They are exactly the same, if not a little worse, than where they were at this point under Sumlin after whatever it's been, 5 years.
It's right at it, yeah.
It's like nothing has changed. So why not just keep Sumlin for less money?
Yeah.
You wouldn't have had to fork out this huge money, and you wouldn't be sitting here with this decision of, do we eat $70 million to get rid of this guy?
My only really question is, what do they do with that trophy that has the year blank and says
put it back in the closet?
Or just give it to Jimbo, I guess, and he can just keep it.
Here, thanks for nothing.
When you call Consumer Cellular's customer support to discuss our affordable and flexible phone plans, it's like you're calling the Declaration of Independence or a hot dog at a baseball game. Because Consumer Cellular's customer support is based entirely in the United States. And Consumer Cellular's customer support agents are from where you're from. The same small town that you're from. The one that stretches from California to Maine, Minnesota to Corpus Christi, Texas. The one that cares about its neighbors and lights fireworks. Legal ones, in the street. So the next time you want to make a phone call that feels like an American flag waving at an air show at Magic Hour, give us a call. Even if it's for no reason at all except to exchange barbecue sauce recipes like a couple of Americans. Or make jokes about Canadians. LOL, just kidding. We love Canadians. They're our neighbors. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer.
Remember, Buddy Ryan was one of those guys, definitely. But Buddy was a talker, and Buddy would piss you off, and he would do some dirty things. Nick Sirianni trolls the sideline and his histrionics and antics. If you're not rooting for him, you freaking hate him.
He is the broest coach I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't think I've ever seen a coach that looks like he was pulled out of the crowd more than Nick Sirianni and those Eagles fans.
And it's every week, dude.
He is one of them. Oh, I know.
This isn't just Cowboy stuff. This is every week. And yeah, if he's your coach, I'm sure that it'll run its course like anything else. But if that's your guy right now and you're a Philly fan, holy crap, you think that you have the second coming of Vince Lombardi.
Well, let's see how that goes, but his backstory is pretty wild. So I was reviewing this today just because he is in my kitchen. I have to give him that. So they wanted Frank Reich when the Doug Peterson thing blew up. And Frank Reich wasn't available because he was the Colts coach. And so remember, Frank...
Because he was Carson Wentz's buddy.
That's right. And so the idea was we need to hire Frank Reich back because only Frank Reich being here is what made Carson Wentz work. And so remember, all this happened simultaneously. This is what's so weird about the Eagles being very good is that a lot of this has been very similar to yesterday, a bounce of a ball here and there, and sometimes not their actual intention. It just worked out that way. And that's sports. So they wanted Frank Reich. They didn't get Frank Reich, so they hired his offensive coordinator. And Sirianni was a small college coach who became an intern for the Chiefs, not under Andy Reid, but under Todd Haley. And so when Todd Haley got run for Andy Reid, Sirianni was out of a job in Kansas City, so then he went to San Diego and joined Mike McCoy's staff. Did you ever vacation with Mike McCoy?
I did not. Thanks for asking.
Why does Mike McCoy ring a bell for some reason? But he was a Chargers coach, and from there, that's where Frank Reich and Nick Sirianni met with the Chargers. And he would stay with the Chargers as their quarterbacks coach first, then their wide receiver coach. After Reich was dismissed for not doing his job well enough, Sirianni stayed there for Ken Whisenhunt and worked his way up. But when Reich was hired in Indianapolis, he grabbed Sirianni to come be his OC from 2018 to 2020. Now, the Eagles need a new coach after 2020. So they interview the following people: Joe Brady, Jared Mayo, Deuce Staley.
And by the way, this is Joe Brady immediately after the success he had at LSU.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Josh McDaniels, Todd Bowles, Kellen Moore, and Dennis Allen, all for the job.
Vacation with him.
That's the guy you vacation with, dang it. So Sirianni was not on anyone's list. He was not anywhere close to the highest odds. But the thought was that ownership wanted a coach who would kind of agree to all of their terms. You know, sometimes if you hire Bill Parcells, well, now he makes demands of you, and you do whatever to get him to be your coach. But now you've agreed that, okay, but we're going to let him do this. We're going to let him buy the groceries. We're going to let him call the plays. Now, but if you hire a coach on your terms, one who's grateful to you for the chance, now you tell them, look, you don't get to pick the players. You don't get to do this. I need you to take this guy and run this type of defense and all these things. So Sirianni had zero leverage. That was the thought at the time. And honestly, when the 2021 Eagles came to town, I remember that first game, and which was the only game before yesterday of Jalen versus Dak. The only other time it happened was right after Sirianni got the job. They came in here like maybe late September, early October in 2021. And the offense didn't make any sense. Didn't make any sense at all. They had no running game. They were asking Jalen Hurts to just kind of be the slinging around passer, and it crashed and burned horribly. And over the course of that middle of that 2021 season, they stumbled upon this amazing idea. And I don't know where Sirianni's influence fits, because honestly, at the time, Sirianni gave up play calling to Shane Steichen. And that really got the Eagles going. Is Sirianni, I'm not going to call plays anymore. You run the offense. They start running all the time, and they haven't really started losing since.
Yeah. I mean, once they started doing that in the middle of the year, they finished that season winning 6 out of their last 7 games. And since that...
Then they turned the job over to Jalen for 2022. Like in 2021, it was, let's see.
Right. So they win 6 of their last 7, and now they are 24-4 in their last 28.
And they do it in a weird way because...
And 3 of those losses were without Jalen.
Yeah.
Last year when he got hurt.
They do it in this weird way where I don't know that you can actually say on a play-by-play basis they're just better, but they do it in the sense that they go for it on every 4th down. They seem to steal a possession per half of every game. So if you have 2 more possessions than your opponent, that is math. And the balls to go for it at your own 32 and then to go for it on 4th and 3 in field goal range and convert both times because you just trust your team.
Well, and they talked about it on the broadcast, too, how much pressure that puts on the opposing head coach. And you saw McCarthy rolling the dice on 4th down because...
The next drive.
Yeah.
Twice.
Because you can't settle for field goals when they're going for 4th downs and converting.
Which I think is the best version of Mike McCarthy when he's going for it because he's done it a lot in his career. But I feel like since Dak led the NFL in interceptions last year, we're seeing a super dialed back version of McCarthy, at least through the San Francisco game, where the Cowboys are seemingly a bit too conservative. Well, now Sirianni forces him into this high-stakes, aggressive chess match.
D-measuring contest.
And it just made for wonderful, wonderful football.
Imagine, and he said this on Wednesday of last week. He's like, look, we don't have to get 10 yards. We just have to get 9. The other yard is given.
Yeah.
And
it's automatic.
An unbelievable way to think about offense. If you have that, what is the most successful play in the history of the NFL? It's going to go down as that. And they may change the rule and you can't do it anymore, but up to that point, it'll be the most successful play in the history. You can't stop it. It's so stupid.
Well, you have to be fearless about 2 things. You have to be fearless about failure on 4th downs that cost you a game, and that comes from an ownership group that are going to not undercut you if something fails. And then you kind of have to be fearless about injuries, about we are going to get somebody hurt doing this. The more we do it, the more it's danger. These guys aren't idiots. They know how football works, and they know goal line plays are like the most dangerous plays in the sport, and they actually encourage their quarterback to lead with his head into these situations. And if you're totally fine, if you're totally not governed by what happens if we fail or what happens if we get our quarterback hurt, which are 2 things that have governed the Cowboys for as long as I can remember, if you're willing to kind of go clear on all that and just say, well, we're willing to take our chances because the rewards are worth it to us, then you gain a huge advantage over football people. And that's Sirianni with that smug look and that guy that's just troublemaker expressions, just trying to stir stuff up, trying to get the fans into a frenzy because he hates the enemy as much as they do. It's central casting for what the Eagles coach should look like, and I guess should act like, because it is pro wrestling. But I got to admit, man, he's pretty freaking good at what he does as much as he has a punchable face.
They don't lose. Like, they lost the Super Bowl, but They don't lose. It's a really neat trick that they have right now. And as much as you want to look at like the next handful of weeks, they got a bye this week of things catching up to them with San Francisco and Kansas City and I can't remember, Buffalo maybe. It's like, yeah, but they beat all these teams. They've beaten them all in the last 2.5 years. And they with winning records. That's the thing. Their record against teams that have winning records is second to nobody in the history of the NFL in this stretch.
Well, they're at the Shanahan spot, aren't they? Where they've proven they can do it. They just have to do it. They have to do it all because I think it's dangerous for us to kind of compare them to Andy Reid or Bill Belichick because these guys are trying to do it. They haven't done it.
No, they haven't done it
Shanahan yet. And Sirianni in their own way. Howie Roseman has done it. So I suppose at least their general manager and ownership can say they've done it. But this head coach and his style and his complete disregard for percentages and failures, or maybe he has great regard for percentages and he just understands them better than your average NFL coach, which is entirely possible because those guys aren't always great at math. And so if you're willing to live with the consequences of either it failing at a key moment or you getting a player hurt because you risked him a little too much, then you can win a lot of games, man, and maybe that's what it's all about. It is what it's all about. He's incredibly unlikable, so I take no pleasure in giving him my hat of respect. I doff my cap. He is really, really good, and he's also extremely unlikable, and I suppose that's the point.
Yeah.
I suppose he's trying to be extremely unlikable to anybody in Dallas.
And I feel like if he coached Carolina or Tampa, or you wouldn't hate him as much because those cities don't embody what he's exuding.
Yeah.
And when you combine the
That's
entire
the thing.
package,
like if he's the Colts coach, it doesn't matter.
No.
He might be the Colts coach. I don't know what Shane Steichen's like. I have no idea because I don't care. I do care about the Eagles. And I can't believe that the Doug Peterson thing blew up after he won a Super Bowl. I thought he would be their coach for the next 15 years, and he probably should have been. But it ended really fast, and Doug Peterson is a trillion times more likable than Nick Sirianni. But they both understood going for it on fourth down. They both understood rolling the dice because the Cowboys won't. And they're good. They're really good.
When you call Consumer Cellular's customer support to discuss our affordable and flexible phone plans, it's like you're calling the Declaration of Independence or hot dog at a baseball game. Because Consumer Cellular's customer support is based entirely in the United States. And Consumer Cellular's customer support agents are from where you're from. The same small town that you're from. The one that stretches from California to Maine, Minnesota to Corpus Christi, Texas. The one that cares about its neighbors and lights fireworks. Legal ones, in the street. So the next time you want to make a phone call that feels like an American flag waving at an air show at Magic Hour, give us a call. Even if it's for no reason at all except to exchange barbecue sauce recipes like a couple of Americans. Or make jokes about Canadians. LOL, just kidding. We love Canadians. They're our neighbors. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888.
That's why at Consumer Cellular, you only pay for the data you need each month, whether it's 1 gig or a bajillion. So anyway, listener, Consumer Cellular wanted me to ask you if you're into that kind of thing, freedom, love, having a good time. If maybe you wanted to go steady. If you do, check yes or call us. We love talking on the phone. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
It could be information to change your life forever. Or the Something You Should Know podcast could just be something interesting.
Herb Cohen is one of the all-time legendary great sales trainers and negotiators. And he has some advice that will help you negotiate better. Make the other person feel superior and smarter than you. Care, but don't care too much. If you don't like the deal, walk away and see if the deal doesn't get better instantly.
Something You Should Know, wherever you listen.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. All right, it's 5:16. This is Thursday, and this is the Rant Revival on the Hardline. Today, it is brought to you by
Eatsies Market and Bakery
and by Garrett Youngblood's 35th birthday.
Happy birthday, G-Money.
How about that? We have a birthday sponsorship in addition to Eatsies, and it's Rant Revival time. Gordon's here.
Hi, Gordy.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Hello, hardliners.
So there's a couple of things that we would like to discuss as a group. One of them dropped earlier today, and I don't know if you guys discussed this or if you've read anything about this, but there was a bundle of letters that were found. Not like the alphabet letters, but actual letters that were written to soldiers that were found to be unopened and in perfect condition.
Wow.
And the letters...
From which war?
The letters were from the 12-year war between France and something weird in 1758.
Whoa.
Yes. So a history professor over in Cambridge found these inside of a museum marked strangely, and he just kind of grabbed it. He had access to it, and it was these letters that were bundled up that never made it to these soldiers from their wives, girlfriends, moms, dads, all of it. And
I'm horny for you.
Were hundreds of them. And
I am so horny.
And it said, like, the ones that were kind of
baby.
that were kind of sexually charged, they said that you found out a lot about day-to-day life, about sexuality back in the day, all of it. So it's not anything dissimilar probably to what is going on now if there was some sort of war, whether it was a Snapchat message or an actual letter or anything. It was very similar.
I had to lay with Pierre. I was thinking of you. It was just kid stuff.
It's just kid stuff.
You know what's really weird though is this is, and it's going to go back to the Great White Fire for me.
Oh my gosh! How do you tie that in with French sexuality?
It's not sexuality. First off, these are letters that never made it to their loved ones.
Let's let them cook.
And my whole thing is they were found, and the professor said, I think he asked several people, should I open these? Do you mind if I open these, or should these forever die as they were?
So the letters from the dead French soldiers were like the cars left behind by the dead Great White concert attendees.
Oh, now I understand the letter story in a way that I couldn't before you compared it to the empty cars outside a nightclub.
In a way, yes, you're correct. No, but as they talk about their lives in here, and this is in the 1700s, and we don't have any examples of this outside of things that are written in books, but just personal artifacts like this, I almost think
people even alive in the 1700s?
And they wrote with letters. But I do think that there is something to that. Should these... I don't know if you can find somebody with a last name that, 100 generations down the road that these should end up with.
Not 100 generations.
Whatever.
They are not 100.
He can't comprehend it, Dave. Just let him go.
So one of the letters says this.
How many generations in a year?
On the first day of the year.
385 generations in a year?
On this,
you're wrong on so many fronts.
On this, the first day of the year, and this is a woman writing to her husband. I think more about you than you about me. In any case, I wish you a happy new year filled with the blessings of the Lord.
Sounds like they really love each other.
Unfortunately, I think I am for the tomb. I've been ill for 3 weeks. Give my compliments to Varen, who's a shipmate. Hope to see you soon. Have a kick-ass summer.
Yeah, so she... So she sends a nice little note to her husband.
Miss you, I'm dying.
And wants to
Here's
say...
a clipping of my pubic hair.
I love you more than you love me.
Yeah.
And I'm about to die. Anyway, so good luck with your war.
Yeah, have fun.
I'm not sure.
War.
I've just had a cough for 3 weeks.
Right back.
60% of the letters were signed by women, and as they say, provide insights into female literacy, social networks, and experiences in wartime. Most of these women did not know how to read or write.
So they were on like MySpace back then?
You don't think so. Most of these women didn't know how to read or write.
In my top 5.
And they were transcribed by someone. Like, they had to go to someone and, find someone that would do it. Then they would sign it and
make
move
France
on.
great again.
Yeah, I don't know. But it's really
Are
creepy.
you wearing your Make France Great Again red tri-cornered hat?
It's really weird to me, though, that
the tri-cornered hat is...
And Gordon, you've had the same
Stupidest
experience.
hat design.
You've had the same thought process. I know. I've read you, like back when you used to write for the morning news, when you found like an old high school annual from like the 20s or 30s.
Yeah.
And you do open it up and you see that these people are getting ready to start their lives and everything's great and kick ass and let's go. And then you're like, and they're all dead.
Does your Sharon Stone cave still smell like brie?
Oh, my God.
But it's depressing. This was 400 years ago or whatever it is, and 300 years ago, and...
Dearest Claudette, my toe was bitten off by a dragon on the battlefield.
And it does go to show that in 300 years from now, how flipping insignificant we all are and will be.
Like, right. So in 300 years, people will be reading your emails?
Probably. Like, look what we found.
That's the problem is, like, you read stuff in old letters from wartime back in the day or even just everyday letters, and it just seems like they were more epic than our communication is now.
They would write like once a month.
More than that, probably. Probably every other day they're writing to their loved ones. But to find a treasure trove like this,
all that was preserved of all of us is just our sexting, our awkward trying to get there, trying to get a nude from someone.
But somehow it's able to be procured through whatever AI from like the age of 14 on. Anybody you want, you can just hit a button and be like, "Oh, Dave Lane at 15." Let's see what he was doing.
Let's go through all his D-pics. Here's my penis.
It does demonstrate, though, the easier it is to communicate, the less thought you put into it. Because they had to really think about what they wanted to say. This was their one chance to correspond, whereas just the miracle of email.
Yeah.
Only 25, 30 years old. And you can press a button. By the time the button unpresses, for lack of a better term, it's arrived at its destination anywhere in the world. And so we put so little thought into it.
They had to go into the village to the barber/pharmacist and have him transcribe a letter.
They had to find somebody who could write. And then they had to find somebody who would ride on horseback out to the front lines. I mean, think about the efforts just to correspond versus what we do, which is text while driving at 80 miles an hour.
Right. And send a picture. Here, boner. Thank you.
I am circumcised. Here's a drawing of my penis.
Yeah.
But it is,
Here is a pencil drawing Pierre did of my penis.
Here is an outline I made with my feather quill pen.
Describe your breasts and how much they cost.
Here is a turkey drawing that I did from tracing one of my hands.
But it's amazing that any letter ever got to its intended recipient back then to begin with.
100%.
So it's not surprising.
They didn't, apparently.
Yeah, it's not surprising that there's a whole stack of undelivered mail.
And apparently this guy was able to track down, like they thought that the ship that these guys were all on was coming into port at certain areas, and like there were 7 or 8 different instances where they missed this ship by minutes or a day or whatever, but that the letters kept piling up, and finally they were like, "Oh, screw it! Everybody's dead anyway. Everybody's going to the tomb anyway."
So where were these letters all recovered?
They were going to French soldiers from the 7-Year War, and they were somehow ended up in a museum in Cambridge, which is bizarre to me.
And just the fact that the paper doesn't disintegrate in that amount of time. Was it like in some sort of air?
It must have been
protected vault of some sort?
They were vacuum sealed.
That's incredible.
Yeah. With weed in
yeah,
there too?
They were in coffee grounds.
Oh, cool.
Always put them in coffee grounds. That's the best way.
Gordon, you've been to Paris, right?
I have.
So, did you ever visit the catacombs when you were there?
You know, I've been to Paris many times. Put that on my bragging montage. It seems to be the European city that I've probably passed through the most, and I've never visited the catacombs.
I've been there twice and never went.
Is it because they're in Rome?
Well,
there's probably catacombs in lots of cities.
Places.
Yeah,
but the French catacombs, I did do it one of the times that I went, and it's incredible because they had flooding, they had corpses everywhere, and so they dug out these catacombs and they just put everybody's bones in there, and so they would just make stacks. Here are all the leg bones. Here are all the skulls.
They sorted them.
Yeah, it's all sorted, and it's insane.
Wow.
And so there's like maybe
thousands and thousands.
There's like 3 million people down there.
Yeah.
And you
and
just
they were
talk
all actual people with their own lives and hopes and dreams and relationships, and that just freaks me out when you're staring at a wall of skulls.
Yeah, you're just looking at this pile of bones and you're thinking about all these lives that amount to just dust in a cave.
Yeah.
And like you said, it makes you realize how insignificant everything is.
Yeah, all of it.
Were any of them Texas Radio Hall of Famers?
No, they weren't.
Do you think that they'll shove Gordon's knee bone up there and just put a little sign on there that Radio Hall of Famer? Oh, cool.
I've already paid for screw-on plaques that can go on each one of my bones for my skeleton.
Does the Hall of Fame,
Texas Radio Hall of Famer,
does it make you immortal? Are you in some ways able to live forever now?
Will you be interred at the Texas Radio Hall
That's
of Fame?
That's where the Texas Radio Hall of Fame catacombs.
Yeah, that's what they need to do is start a catacombs at the Texas Radio Broadcast
Where you
Museum.
all end up. By the way, have you guys ever eaten honeycombs? Awesome. Like, really
God,
good.
my brother, that was his favorite cereal growing up, and
So
I hated
good.
it.
They cut your mouth.
No, they did not.
Yes, they did.
In milk?
The roof of your mouth would be shredded.
Well, they were.
It was a roof shredder.
They're big. Yeah.
They're good.
I think they have flavored
Small.
ones now, though. Are you talking about the original flavor?
Yeah,
Corby?
the original. Yeah.
Ugh.
Honey is overrated.
You know what? I'll tell you what would grind.
Honey is overrated.
I'll tell you
That's ridiculous.
As a flavor, it's spare.
What would grind the top of your roof to a nub? And I only ate these with my grandpa, as he would just slowly feed me.
This is a related story to the Ding Dong Cabin.
Yeah, this is grandpa.
This was grooming before grooming.
Right.
Yeah.
Grape
this is who
nuts.
taught your dad how to do it.
Grape nuts. Worst cereal ever.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah, you need to let those steep in the milk for like 10 minutes.
No.
Are they still around?
Oh, yeah.
John Denver endorsed them, I think.
Who?
Wasn't John Denver a grape nuts guy?
I think you're right. Or Wilford Brimley. Somebody's safe,
Our friend Juice weighs in. He says, I think Corby just described the globe-spanning 7 years war between the French and British alliances as the 12-year war between France and somebody weird.
Yeah.
I thought you were a history major.
Yeah, like I know that war. But think about that. They think that they're fighting this, we're fighting for the honor of our country and we're going to kill Britain, all this stuff. And it's now reduced to this. Where
I want to know what word you saw that you just said somebody weird.
For our country. Hey, man, come on.
Hey, white girls, huh? What's up, vatos?
Look at this. Our chariots bounce up and down, man.
Did I devolve into a Mexican?
Whoa.
There is one thing that I would like to do to you. Mr. Britain, man. Oh, man, yeah. I want a crepe with some refried beans in the middle, man. Beans.
Our dialects are really all over the swerving.
But that's
around
what this is. That's what their whole life's work of independence and fighting their mortal enemy now has been reduced to this:
We're
eating
back to philosophical.
to eating grape nuts and having them being stuck to your mouth.
All right,
Deep thoughts, Corby.
Now tie in the Great White.
I mean, at one moment they're French and they're alive, And then the next moment, they're unalive and grape-nutted.
That sentence has never, ever been said. Ever in the history of mankind.
Like when the 12-year war was over with somebody weird, they all returned to their cars, but there were no keys.
No.
And there were no keys inside.
But they had
Oh, the horses had died because no one fed them.
And hair metal was going away.
Oh, my goodness.
So what did they do?
Wow. Well.
Well, anyway.
In closing.
Yeah, the end. All right, Gordon.
All right, thank you, Hardliners.
Thanks, Gordon.
There he goes.
Love you.
The rant and the rant revival.
When you call Consumer Cellular's customer support to discuss our affordable and flexible phone plans, it's like you're calling the Declaration of Independence or a hot dog at a baseball game. Because Consumer Cellular's customer support is based entirely in the United States. And Consumer Cellular's customer support agents are from where you're from. The same small town that you're from. The one that stretches from California to Maine, Minnesota to Corpus Christi, Texas. The one that cares about its neighbors and lights fireworks. Legal ones, in the street. So the next time you want to make a phone call that feels like an American flag waving at an air show at Magic Hour, give us a call. Even if it's for no reason at all except to exchange barbecue sauce recipes like a couple of Americans. Or make jokes about Canadians. LOL, just kidding. We love Canadians. They're our neighbors. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1...
Doing okay, just sitting there watching little tape and getting ready for another one.
Mm-hmm. Trying to get over the Eagles' loss?
No, I'm just getting ready for another birthday party put on by the Jones kids.
Another one?
Oh, okay, another one, yeah.
Yeah, I think, let me look at the invite here. This one's Ice Age themed, and I think we're going to go to Chuck E. Cheese. So,
okay.
we were talking about the Ice Age movies, about the sloth.
That sloth's funny, man. It was good stuff. Yeah.
Getting ready for another one, huh?
Yeah, just getting ready for that, and we got a couple presents around here. People sent me.
Oh, who sent you what?
Here's one. I've already watched it. Tony Romo sent me a DVD of his documentary.
Oh, yeah, we just talked about that. We gave it a good review. Now and or never. That's
now
what it's
or
called.
Never, yeah. I wish I would have said never.
Okay. All right.
That's 71 minutes. I'm not going to get back. But
I thought it was good.
It was fun. Watching them play football. Did they have an open bar at his wedding?
Why is that?
Did Roger really say that Romo was a better quarterback than he was? What's that all about?
I don't know, Roger.
I thought that was kind of funny. That's like, I don't know. It's like saying, Razor was a better goalie than Wayne Gretzky or something.
What? He may have been a better goalie, actually, than Wayne Gretzky.
I think he was a better
I think we could say that.
Okay, how about this one? How about that, Popeye Jones was a better Maverick than Dirk, Same kind of thing.
Yeah, that'd be a stretch.
But no, it was cool. It was nice of Tony to do that. But, let's get back to football.
Yeah, let's get back to football.
Yeah, we got a game this week.
Yep.
And, I got to tell you guys, I'm tired.
Tired? What's making you so tired? Just the preparations for the games?
Yeah, I'm coaching and calling plays. That's tough.
Yeah, that thing that you have there, that big play sheet that you have.
Yeah, it's I got all those plays. I'm trying to call. Does it look like I know what I'm doing?
Yeah, it kind of looks like it.
It looks like it.
Okay, I'm glad it looks like it.
Uh-oh.
There's a lot to keep up with. I mean, I got a lot of plays on there, like I got my top 10 and
your top 10 plays?
No, top 10 spots for Uber Eats, get that going.
Why is that on your play sheet?
Rank them and then laminate them?
Yeah, but it's hard, It's really hard keeping up with all the plays, and you got to keep up with timeouts and all that, game management. Yeah, screw it,
That's why you just need to hire a bunch of assistants, to handle all that for you, and you just kind of patrol the sidelines looking intense.
No, that's what I'm trying to do.
Am I selling that very well, by the way? Look like I'm in charge down there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, it's okay this week, though. I don't even need a play sheet this week.
Why is that?
No, the Giants suck. You not watch football this year?
Oh, okay. So you're just going to wing it?
Yeah, we're just going to wing it, you know?
You should win big.
You should, but I just don't have too much time for football. Got birthday party today, birthday party tonight, and then we're going to watch a movie tomorrow. You know, it's going to be a big birthday weekend. That's what I'm going to make out of it.
What you going to watch? You going to watch that Barbie movie? I know you're big into collecting vintage Barbies.
Yeah, well, I'm going to watch that again. I've already seen it 3 times.
You like that, huh?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I'll watch Barbie movie and, just kind of hang out a little bit, maybe go to a few good bars. You guys got some good spots I could go to?
No. I heard the open bar at Tony's wedding's pretty good, though.
That's what I want. You know, with that Romo open bar thing at the wedding. But,
maybe wait till after the season to do that.
Man, when you coach the Cowboys, that's all you think about is drinking. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Or if you own the Cowboys, obviously that's all you do is drink.
Has somebody given you your birthday spankings yet today, Coach?
No, I'd like to get some, though. You got a candidate?
Oh, jeez.
That's why we need to get Dalrymple back up there.
Okay, Coach.
All right. Now that is it, Coach.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. There he goes.
All right.
Mike McCarthy, head coach of the Cowboys. Happy birthday. Turned 60 today.
Freedom is the key to any good relationship. It's about being around each other because you want to be around each other, not because some contract or some inflexible data plan are holding you down. Consumer Cellular knows that a good connection with somebody isn't something you can take for granted. It's something you earn with every bill you send, every fee you don't charge, every charge you don't hide. That's why Consumer Cellular lets you walk away at any time. No feelings hurt. That's why at Consumer Cellular, you only pay for the data you need each month, whether it's 1 gig or a bajillion. So anyway, listener, Consumer Cellular wanted me to ask you if you're into that kind of thing, freedom, love, having a good time. If maybe you wanted to go steady. If you do, check yes or call us. We love talking on the phone. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
O'Reilly. When you need auto parts, O'ReillyAuto.com is just a click away. We offer convenient options for you to get your parts, tools, accessories, and supplies quickly. Order online and pick up for free at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store, or you can have your parts delivered right to your door with free shipping on most orders over $35. Visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly. The owner of Rant IP, Gordon Keith.
That's right. Thank you so much, Dave. Thanks for having me.
Made a killing off that IP.
Made zero.
Do you think you made more off that or Cool Link?
Don't bring up Cool Link. It's a soft spot. I borrowed money to invest. It didn't work out.
Sink it up, guys. We got to sink everything into Cool Link.
We're going to be millionaires.
Everything.
Seriously.
Just wait for the IPO.
Extra kidneys to sell. Do it now.
Cool Link.
Speaking of IP,
still has a chance.
Yeah,
the SAG-AFTRA strike is over.
How about that?
It lasted 118 days, which is the longest of all time. But it officially ended at midnight this morning. So today it's officially over now. It needs to be ratified. The negotiating committee approved it in a unanimous vote, but now it needs to go to the national board and needs to go through the whole process. So it should take about a week for it to actually get ratified. But it has officially been called off. The strike has been called off, and actors can return to work as early as today. And a lot of TV productions are already like, come on, let's go back to work. Because they gotta catch up on their production schedules.
Did they announce the terms of the settlement?
No, we don't have details about the terms of the settlement, which I assume will come out over the next 2 weeks. But they say that the deal has first ever protections for actors against AI, and it also has a historic pay increase, and it also has a structural change in the compensation on streaming platforms. So it has bonuses built in for the top streaming programs.
You know what's weird is that last night here in Dallas at the Texas Theater, Gordon.
Why are you addressing that to me? What I know about the Texas Theater?
Your favorite theater.
Yeah, there's a particular seat in there that you would love to own.
Yeah.
What, like 3 rows from the back, 5 seats in? Oh! I'm not even sure if that's right, actually.
So last night it was the premiere of The Iron Claw.
Yes.
And all the actors that are in it, including Zac Efron and Jeremy Allen White and others, showed up. There have been no movie promotions whatsoever.
Yeah, it's been forbidden. The only reason that they were able to do that is because it was produced by A24, and so certain indie film distributors had kind of an exemption.
Okay.
So they could do promotion for indie films, but big Hollywood studios couldn't do anything.
Okay, I didn't know if it was because they were so close to the end of the strike or what, but
no, I think it was planned in advance because it was an A24 production and not a big Hollywood studio. But yes, it is exciting that we are going to get back into the promotion game as far as, they're going to start rearranging the release schedule. All of the movies that have been bumped will find new places on the schedule. And as we said, TV production is going to get ramped back up. So fun.
Totally.
Our entertainment is saved. At
New
least
season.
for,
I don't know
at
that
least
I
for 2
noticed
years.
a strike.
It was getting to the breaking point.
Yeah, because think about now, it's not so much noticing the strike, it's a year from now when everything that should have been shot is now going to be Love Island Part 4 or whatever, just dumb reality show.
The final season, the second part of the final season of Yellowstone was supposed to be airing this fall. It's going to air next fall.
Yeah.
Everything got pushed out 6 to 8 to 12 months. And so, everything's going to be a little few and far between for a while until they get caught up. Speaking of Hollywood, this is interesting as Sharon Stone, she hasn't done a whole lot, but she was on that flight attendant show, which was on HBO Max, I believe. And she played the mother of the chick from Big Bang
Beaver?
Theory. What's her name?
Kaylee Cuoco?
Yeah,
Kaylee Cuoco.
Yeah, so she played her mom on the show. But she hasn't done a lot lately. But she did appear on a podcast hosted by Kelly Ripa called Let's Talk Off Camera. And this fits right in with all of the post-Me Too revelations, as she says that in the late 80s, before she hit it big, so Basic Instinct was 92, Casino was 95. This is in the late 80s when she was just a young actress. She was talking about how she only had one outfit. Like, it's her special outfit that she got on the sale rack and that she would keep dry cleaned and pristine for every meeting that she had with an executive. And so she gets called in to see the head of the Sony studio at the time. And she goes into his office and he has one of those real low leather couches. And she says that because she's tall, her knees are up at her ears, very compromising position. And then this is what happens.
Oh, it's true what they say about you, and you're the most gorgeous. Oh, you're just blah, 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 blah. And then he came walking right up in front of me, and he said, but first, and he took his penis right out in my face. And of course, I was very young, and what I do when I'm nervous, because I'm basically a very bubbly person, I started laughing.
Right.
And I started laughing and crying at the same time. And I couldn't stop because I became hysterical. So I was, right? And I couldn't stop.
Mark,
so he didn't know what to do. So, of course, he put it away. Then he went through this door behind his desk, which I thought was that he left. So I didn't know what to do. So I was just sitting there hysterical. And eventually his secretary came and led me out, right? But this was not the last of many weird experiences like this in my career.
I mean, do you think, here's my penis. Do you think that
that's
she
like
maybe
exactly what happened when I first met Corby?
Yeah.
That's exactly how he treated me.
Just put it in your face.
Yeah.
But do you think of
digging around in there?
Of Hollywood actresses, Sharon Stone has to be one of the all-time targets of this kind of sleaze, right?
Oh, yeah. Her famous scene, I've the way she tells it now is that she was tricked into that scene where she exposed her,
when
canal.
she uncrossed her legs and gave you a glimpse into the place where babies are made.
She claims that they told her that you couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
And so that she did it, trusting them, and then they put it in the movie, which is really sorry.
And it was part of a trailer that if you went to see whatever movie back in the day and they ran Basic Instinct, the trailer, it is one of the most successful trailers I think I've ever seen, because there was no doubt I was going to see that movie when it came out. I have never...
Because you wanted to see that
well, it wasn't.
filmed.
I don't even think it was that. I think she was so hot back in the day. It had nothing to do with the legs crossing, and it had Newman from Seinfeld all sweaty under the heat lamp. He was one of the cops at the time. But it was just the story, the way, I can't remember the name of the director, Paul something or other.
Verhoeven,
yeah.
Blart.
Put together Blart, yeah.
Not Blart.
Put together that trailer though, it was perfect. Like, there are very few trailers that just scream, "Oh my God, I got to see it." But as a 22-year-old dude at the time, I'm like, I'm going to that, and it was okay.
Look at that. I think we revisited it recently, and
Not that great.
Not that great. And it's really weird how...
What did you just say?
It's really weird how the two characters, Michael Douglas and Sharon Stone, how they really have no chemistry, but they are like madly in love. It makes no sense, and then their sex scenes are real awkward and gross. Like seeing Michael Douglas with his O face is not something you want to see.
Which we saw a ton in the 90s.
Do you think the poster says all of the sex scenes are awkward and gross?
Yeah.
Well, no, they didn't use that as the pull quote, the critic pull quote.
All right, last thing. This is insane.
Wait, before you get to that last thing, didn't Sharon Stone's husband get bitten by a dragon?
What?
A Komodo
Sharon Stone's
dragon?
husband.
Is she married?
She was married to a newspaper guy, and his foot got bitten off by a dragon, Komodo dragon.
I'm typing in right now, Sharon Stone dragon husband, which has never been in my browser. Jay Kilgore, the reptile keeper who was in the cage with Stone's husband, San Francisco Chronicle executive Phil Bronstein, says it was he who got the lizard to unclamp itself from Bronstein's toe after 1 or 2 seconds by grabbing its neck and yelling at it.
Thank you.
No!
Bad
Let
dragon.
go of the toe!
Bad dragon.
You're a bad dragon.
And one bite from a Komodo dragon, they have like more bacteria in their mouths.
So he had to get the foot amputated?
Than in the history of the world.
No, I think he turned into a dragon.
Does it have more bacteria
like grayscale.
Right.
than the crevasse in Sharon Stone's skirt?
Dude.
Dave. That's a
Dave.
That's a beautiful. Speaking
That
of
is
Michael
her
Douglas,
private bacteria area.
Speaking of Michael Douglas, that may have been how he had the cancer.
Right, how he got his mouth cancer.
Yeah.
on the set of Basic Instinct.
Would you stand
She
by?
reached that point of no return and shot HPV into his waiting baby bird throat.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
That's what Bob just texted me.
Would you stay loyal and stand by your spouse if their toe was bitten off by a dragon?
No.
You're gone.
I draw the line.
They would be incomplete.
Right yeah.
And what are you doing with the dragon?
Like, wouldn't Monty's story be a lot
Why are
cooler?
you messing around with a dragon in the first place?
Monty needs to change his story.
Yeah. Like, it got bitten off by a dragon.
The Kevin James pet dragon bit it off.
He was battling a dragon.
Yeah.
Baller. When you call Consumer Cellular's customer support to discuss our affordable and flexible phone plans, it's like you're calling the Declaration of Independence or a hot dog at a baseball game. Because Consumer Cellular's customer support is based entirely in the United States. And Consumer Cellular's customer support agents are from where you're from. The same small town that you're from. The one that stretches from California to Maine, Minnesota to Corpus Christi, Texas. The one that cares about its neighbors and lights fireworks. Legal ones, in the street. So the next time you want to make a phone call that feels like an American flag waving at an air show at Magic Hour, give us a call. Even if it's for no reason at all except to exchange barbecue sauce recipes like a couple of Americans. Or make jokes about Canadians. LOL, just kidding. We love Canadians. They're our neighbors. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-800